43 million Guyana each month to get advice on GPL. Are they advising GPL on how to give us more blackout?
We're still getting blackout. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Minister Zulfikar Mustafa give a long speech about rice. I will ask the Honorable Minister Zulfikar Mustafa come in front of the class. I will give a lecture on rice too. I was told use the heavy weight. Mr. Speaker, Minister of Agriculture has a budget of $113.2 billion, Mr. Speaker. In Region 6, I plant rice. In Region 6, agriculture is very important. Rice farmers struggling, Mr. Speaker, because the cost of production is too high. The Agriculture Minister don't have a solution to the rice farmer with the cost of production. For example, Mr. Speaker, to rent one crop of rice, to rent one crop of land is approximately $25,000 to $30,000 per crop. Generally 2 crops per year farmer grow. This high cost of rent for land make it difficult for the rice farmer to make a decent profit, Minister Zulfikar. The government promised to open up more land for rice farmer, which will have reduced the cost of production, especially in Borbis. But those promises has not been kept, Mr. Speaker. Zulfi, the people are waiting for the land we promised to open up. Presently in Region 6, Honorable Minister, I call you Honorable Minister, in Region 6. In Region 6, 78,000 acres of rice land in Region 6. Out of the 78,000, 63,000 plant this crop. Why? No, it's correct. The total, approximately, Mr. Speaker, approximately rice land in this country is about 238,000 acres. Tell me I'm wrong here, Mr. Speaker. I say approximately. Mr. Speaker, open up more land. Open up more land, Mr. Speaker.
Will reduce the cost and the increase of income for rice farmer. But the highest cost of rice farmer, Mr. Speaker, is land rent. Are you hearing me talk now? Mr. Speaker, during the last crop, the government provide a $300 bag. A $300 bag subsidy. But fertilizer price increased the same time. $300 you give them people to put in their pocket, and then the fertilizer increase. Mr. Speaker, who the farmer does not benefit from that? Mr. Speaker, when Honorable Minister Zulfikar Mustafa, Honorable Zamal, pay careful attention because you just run in there early. Mr. Speaker, 6,200 was a bag for fertilizer when they give that $300. After they give that $300, Mr. Speaker, the fertilizer increased by 6,800. Tell me I'm lying there, Honorable Minister. Mr. Speaker, that's a difference of $600 Guyana. Mr. Speaker, rice farmers in this country employ approximately 20,000 employees. That's a high number for our private sector, sir. Mr. Speaker, let me further add and refresh the Honorable Minister. During his speech, he was kicking fire on that side. I was watching him. But I want to remind him, rice alone earn $100 billion a year, which is approximately $500 million US. And then you got the heart to talk about rice farmer, and in your budget, your 2026 budget, you put $430 million Guyana for the farmer, and you say you care? Let me move on. I don't want to stick on one thing because I got 15 minutes. Shh, big people attack. In addition, Mr. Speaker, in 2025, Gaisuku received $13.3 billion. In 2025, Gaisuku received $13.3 billion. Mr. Speaker, 2026, Gaisuku received $13.4 billion. And still the sugar workers are complaining about wages, salary, not getting the incentive. Mr. Speaker, The sugar workers are complaining during out of crop. They only getting 3 to 4 day work a week. How much of that 13.4 billion is going to them, Honorable Minister Zulfikar? The sugar workers are complaining that 3 to 4 days per week, which is not enough to take care of their family. A few weeks ago, the sugar worker and the quarantine reached out to myself and the honorable opposition leader, Azadin Mohammed. We went to 10 and we reached over 200 sugar workers. When we reached them, you know what they complain? Out of the budget where you get in 2025, the 13.3, they complain that they're only making 16,000 to 18,000 per week, which is not enough to maintain their family due to the cost of living. Minister, you should not be proud of that. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Minister jumping like Bruce Lee on the other side. He talking about cattle farmers. In East Berbice, the cattle farmers are requesting more savanna land. They're requesting more savanna land on a lease agreement. If the cattle farmer in Berbice, so you're listening, listen carefully. I'm advocating that the open land and give a lease for the savanna. Yes. Right? The lack of this land will create that the people have a pasture to carry the animal and have lease to develop it. Right now, Mr. Speaker, at presently, due to the lack of cattle pasture, the cattle and the animal is on the public road. Roaming people believe that the public road is the cattle pasture. Mr. Speaker, the government also, over the few years, coming from Minister Zulfi, Honorable Zulfi, that he going to open up agro-processing. I listened to that word in 2022. And in process industry in Region 6 to create jobs, support farmers. Once again, nothing has happened. This is repeatedly broken promise, and it leave the people frustrated and disappointed. I have a page, but let me go to NDIA. This is where the NDIA, let me touch on NDIA. Honorable Minister, in your budget have $81.9 billion for drainage and irrigation. How by? Money plenty there. Zamal, Honorable. Money plenty there, 81.9 billion. And if the rain fall for 24 hours, Babap, you zinc knock, place flood. Place duck. And if me tell you what I'm do, rice farmer and the cash crop farmer losing millions, they will shift the blame and the 4 agency. Honorable Minister, I don't know if you know, but I think you know. You get NDIA, Water Users Association, sometimes RDC, NDC. You have a duplicate 4 agency doing the same thing. There's room for what? No, because you get water users. Because drainage and irrigation, look at the money size there, Honorable Minister. Oh man, get some respect now. Mr. Speaker, the education sector, Mr. Speaker, let me shift to education, get manners now. Old people say when you see good people attack, must get some respect. Stay quiet. Mr. Speaker, the education sector allocated a massive 183.6 billion in the education sector. That's the second largest after infrastructure. The bulk of the finance will go towards infrastructural projects, like building new schools, repair the existing one. But school alone does not educate children. Quality education depends on well-trained and qualified teachers who are properly paid. Better salary for teachers is necessary to improve teaching to a standard to ensure students receive a better quality of education, Mr. Speaker. Some of the school in Region 6, lack of basic things like such as high-speed internet, functioning library. We need to look into that. And we're talking about data and internet speed in school. Mr. Speaker, I want to go on the biggest budget that we have here. The Ministry of Public Works have the largest budget, a whopping 196.1 billion. Yes, Mr. Speaker, roads and bridges are important, but people must come first. Many projects cost too much to deliver, and poor result. Every time you spend money, billions of dollars, people want to see result, they don't care what you do, and all your Facebook page and photo shoot. Well, WIN is not against infrastructure development. Priority must be given to the nation, citizen. However, development must appear to be not to be a show only. It must be a real and not an exhibition of reckless spending and squandering. It's not the best interest of the people. Mr. Speaker, electricity remains a serious problem. Electricity remains a serious problem in East Berbice. We got blackout often, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we get blackout often in Berbice, left, right, and center. Right. It happens daily. It's not only affecting homes, it's affecting business, hospital, water supply, and government is spending billions on that. Mr. Speaker, it costs the government $48.8 million per day, which is about $17.8 billion a year to operate the two power ships we have, plus $25 billion a year in fuel. With that huge expense, one will expect that there will be some sort of improvement in the electricity supply. But remember, this is Guyana under the PPP administration. Right. Yes. Yeah, and there can come in the front of the class.
Honorable member, you'll need an extension to continue, so you can conclude in 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to ask for the honorable member to be given 5 minutes to complete his presentation.
Honorable member, you may proceed to conclude.
Mr. Speaker, I have to skip a whole page to go here, but I'm doing so good. Mr. Speaker, there is 19 NDC and 3 municipalities in East Berbice, all highly controlled by the ruling party. It make it impossible for local leaders is unable to carry out their mandate. The mandate as independent servant of the constituency. They are compelled to obey the authorities that align with party politics and not in the interest of their community. These officers took an oath and they were elected democratically to run their NDC. But they fail. Mr. Speaker, in East Berbice, let me stick with that. Zamal, pay attention. Mr. Speaker, in East Berbice, we have approximately 285 councillors that East Berbice. We have 42 councillors within the 3 municipalities. We have 30 RDC councillors, and yet we have major problem in the NDCs and constituency. Mr. Speaker, all the NDC municipality in this country would have received a government subvention in 2025, a sum of $30 million for each NDC. The municipality gets $60 million each. And I will be fair and honest to the local government minister, honorable minister. She, a few weeks ago, mentioned that some of the NDC still have this subvention and not using it. Thank you for your honesty. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, 100.1 billion allocated for the Ministry of Home Affairs. Security is important, yet the phones at some police station is not working. For example, Springlands Police Station telephone has been down for 2 months now. 2 months. And then you say Bartica too. Mr. Speaker, East Berbice, people are complaining that when they call the police, they are told that there are no vehicle available. They advise the people to wait on patrol. By the time the patrol arrives, it's a little too late. But I don't want to blame the police. They work with whatever resource they have. Mr. Berbice, Mr. Speaker, yeah, that's okay, laugh me. Mr. Speaker, the 2026 has a big budget for Berbice, I agree. Mr. Speaker, the lack of a regional tender board. Mr. Speaker, Zamal, pay attention. This is going in your favor, but it's not going to happen under my watch. Mr. Speaker, The absence of a regional tender board. Many of these overnight contractors without knowledge and experience are given contracts on a silver platter. They are given contract on a silver platter because they have connection. This contractor will subcontract this contractor to a most experienced contractor. And once the contractor will make a cut, the subcontractor will make a cut, and Mr. Speaker, taxpayer is not getting value for money. Mr. Speaker, in closing, Mr. Speaker, I want to reflect on what the Honorable Ashley Singh said in this House during his budget speech. And I quote, he said there is a Guyanese language called scatteration. Some over there, and some out there. I want to remind him of another one called labardabar, which means any and anyhow. Mr. Speaker, this budget is a labardabar one and any and anyhow. This budget does not benefit the Guyanese people. I thank you. And here are some proof of flooding and everything we're talking about. I got proof. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member, Mr. Gobind Harbhajan. Now we invite the Honorable Member, Ms. Susan Rodriguez, to make her presentation. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I begin by commending my colleague, the Senior Minister, Dr. Ashni Kumar Singh, and his team on a fantastic budget. I also wish to commend my team at the Ministry of Tourism, Industry and Commerce for their hard work and dedication in preparing our submissions. Mr. Speaker, and I pick up immediately where my colleague, the Honorable Sarah Brown, left off. The members of the opposition, all of them combined, APNU, AFC, WIN, all of them over there, they have all the bright ideas when they're in opposition, and they have no power to get anything done for the people of this country. The Honorable Member who spoke just before me, Honorable Harbhajan, he's talking about who is jumping like Bruce Lee. But he jumped like grasshopper. He has been a member of every single party in this House. Every single party in this House he has once been a member of. No conviction whatsoever. He went with his government, APNU AFC. APNU AFC, they went to the people in Region 6 and they promised them $9,000 a bag for paddy. Remember that? $9,000 a bag for paddy.
That's correct.
And then the president said, President Granger, rice is private business. Rice is private business. Where was he when they took away the money from the school children? The children in Region 6 were deprived of the Because We Care grant as well.
Where was Labrador then?
Where was he when no investment was made in schools, when not a single secondary school was built in Region 6 or any other part of the country?
Where was Labrador then?
Where was he when no hospitals were built, when no highways were built, when no investment was made in the region, when 7,000 sugar workers were sent home, putting the people of Region 6 on the breadline? Where was he then? Where was his conscience then? Where was his advocacy for the people of Region 6 then? And now he has left the House. Then before him came the Honorable Sherrod Duncan. My God, speaking about the housing ministry, the audacity to speak about the housing ministry when his government during the 2015 to 2020 period dismantled the Ministry of Housing. No housing program. Only 7,000 house lots delivered during their 5 years in office. They built a handful of homes, and he's talking about housing solutions. The only housing solution they had was to give discounts on house lots that were already subsidized. House lots that were developed by this People's Progressive Party civic government and left there. Mr. Speaker, we have delivered 53,000 house lots, and the honorable member stated it himself. We have built 4,000 homes. 46% of all our allottees are single women. This is how you empower people. This is how you deliver housing. And then when you come to this house and you want to make personal attacks at people, you have to remember your own record, because your record trails you. It follows you. And so the Honorable Sherrod Duncan was cited in the audit report by the Guyana National Printers, the GNNL, National Newspapers Limited, for spending money contrary to the tender board rules. Mr. Speaker, his own government fired him. His own government fired him, and then only recently, when he ran for leadership of his party rejected him in favor of an outsider. And so now he has cozied once again with the PNC. But I can withstand scrutiny. I can speak openly with the public. Do not mix my success with government, Honorable Sherrod Duncan. If you are not making progress in your own life, that's your problem. Your disparaging remarks or any disparaging remarks will never penetrate me. I know who I am, and I can withstand scrutiny, and I can look all of you in the eye and defend my record. Mr. Speaker, half of them over there are running from their own shadows, and the others are running from the law. But it will catch up. It will catch up with them. Mr. Speaker, this budget, the first for this term in office, is the vehicle through which we will begin the work to achieve the commitments made in our 2025 to 2030 manifesto. Mr. Speaker, the public is aware that the People's Progressive Party Civic take our commitments seriously, and that we were able to deliver all of the promises we made in our 2020 to 2025 manifesto. And therefore, the public knows that they can trust this government to deliver all of our commitments in the next 5 years. Mr. Speaker, I heard members on the opposition side take valuable time out of their budget presentations to debate the theme of the budget. Big controversy over the theme of the budget, not the content contained in the budget, but the theme of the budget, putting people first. But maybe, Mr. Speaker, they are obsessed with themes and slogans. So we are less preoccupied with who first crafted the term putting people first, and more occupied with ensuring that all of the initiatives contained in this budget puts people first. And so, Mr. Speaker, immediately after the budget was presented to the country, we saw a number of organizations, private sector organizations, making statements, long statements, in fact, the longest I've seen, because there were so many measures and initiatives contained in the budget that they took time to list it, to list all of it. The Tourism and Hospitality Association of Guyana calling this budget bold and forward-looking development agenda. Mr. Speaker, that is putting people first. The Women's Chamber of Commerce and Industry, a progressive blueprint, responsive to the challenges of the business community and aligned, listen to this, and aligned with the critical needs of women entrepreneurs, professionals, and families, employing targeted measures that empower women. That is putting people first. The Guyana Manufacturing and Services Association says this budget strengthening economic resilience, diversification, and inclusive growth. Inclusive means everybody will benefit, putting people first. The Private Sector Commission, improving the quality of life for all Guyanese. Budget 2026 includes initiatives that support families, workers, and the most vulnerable. That is putting people first. The GCCI, strategic focus on the development of its people. That is putting people first. Mr. Speaker, these are real organizations representing real people and effecting real change. These are not bots on social media. These are not fake accounts on social media that cannot effect real change. These are real organizations. Organizations also commended the government for its responsiveness to feedback and recommendations through meaningful consultations that effected the positive changes that we now see in this budget. Idle gossip and relentless commentary on Facebook do not lead to positive changes for the Guyanese people, Mr. Speaker. Guyana continues to experience phenomenal growth under this People's Progressive Party civic government. This is a story of holistic development, reflected in a 19.3% growth rate in 2025, with the non-oil economy expanding by 14.3%. These figures underscore broad-based growth across key sectors, including agriculture, construction, mining, manufacturing, and of course, services. As reflected in Budget 2026, every presentation you will hear from this side of the House, Mr. Speaker, will tell a tangible story of positive, direct impact on the lives of Guyanese. Everything we do as a government is premised on one ideology: putting people first. Budget 2026 is bold and ambitious. It reflects the continued determination of the People's Progressive Party to improve quality of life for every Guyanese and to foster inclusive economic growth. When one looks at the budget measures alone, it becomes abundantly clear that the people of Guyana remain at the center of each new initiative. The budget removes burdens and delivers benefits. Where one side is known for callous removal of benefits and the imposition of hardship taxes, this PPP government removes taxes and burdens and delivers benefits which increase year upon year. 200 new taxes, took money from the children. That is the legacy of the APNU-AFC coalition. And they come to this house and cry crocodile tears for the pensioners. But Mr. Speaker, it was their government that taxed electricity and water, that removed the subsidy that was there for the pensioners. We didn't have oil money, but we gave the pensioners subsidy for electricity and water. They removed it. Plus, they increased water tariffs, Mr. Speaker, by 100% in 5 years when they were in government, placing hardship burdens on the people of Guyana, especially our pensioners. But they come here now to cry crocodile tears. They're so concerned about the pensioners. We have doubled old age pension and continue to increase it year upon year. The old age pension is not an annual sum, it is a monthly. It is a monthly amount that is given to our pensioners. Cost of living relief measures include a $100,000 cash grant to every adult citizen, subsidized fuel, cheaper electricity, increase in the income tax threshold to $140,000 per month, increased pensions, and of course increased public assistance, alongside higher stipends for CSOs and CPGs. Measures included expanded small business support through improved access to financing, zero interest rates, and reduced collateral requirements. Upgrades to transport and aviation infrastructure, including river transport and airport expansion, targeted support for tourism, culture, and the orange economy through dedicated funding and incentives are all initiatives that support people development. Goal. They have GOAL. They have a tendency, Mr. Speaker, of taking advantage of all of the initiatives that we implement under the People's Progressive Party Civic and then discourage their supporters and curse those initiatives. And we saw it here yesterday with the doctor who benefited from the Gold Scholarship Program. They will take it and then curse it and discourage other people from benefiting from it. It was the same thing during COVID. You would recall when we made the COVID vaccines available. They came first in line up, took the vaccines, and then told the public that the vaccine is dangerous and that they must not take it. Same thing they do with house lots. They have benefited from the housing program, but they curse the program and they will tell people, don't bother apply for a house lot, you're not going to get it. So that is a very dangerous characteristic of those in the opposition. And that is why you cannot trust anything that they say. Mr. Speaker, turning now to tourism development. The tourism sector continues to exceed expectations. That's right. And is now firmly established as a main pillar of Guyana national development agenda. Tourism will play a key role in the expansion and diversification of our economy. The removal of all duties and taxes on ATVs and outboard engines up to 150 horsepower and the introduction of flat rate taxes for double cab pickup vehicles. These three measures alone make essential tourism transport more affordable and reduces operating costs for tour operators, eco-lodges, and communities. Reduced operating costs results in the reduced costs for tourism experiences, especially our domestic tourists. But that's not all. In 2026, there will be massive expansion and rehabilitation of hinterland and coastal airstrips, the new arrival terminal at Shedijagan International Airport, major allocations for roads and bridges, including the Linden to Mabura Road, the Mabura to Lethem Corridor, the Kurupukari Bridge, the New Amsterdam to Molson Creek Highway, among many others. All of these address, the thing hurt you bad, eh? All of these address the issue of cost. Jealousy is a real thing. Further, immediately after taking up this role, I held consultations with the hoteliers and lodges, and a special rate was introduced for Guyanese at home and in the diaspora by several hotels and lodges. The President himself called for a reduction in domestic airfare, and some airlines have already reduced airfare by up to 9% for domestic travel. This will not only support tourism, but will support our Amerindian communities. Successes in the tourism sector are many and include record-breaking visitor arrivals in 2025, 453,489 visitors, reflecting Guyana's strongest tourism performance to date, a 22% increase compared to 2024. 12 new airlines have been added to the Guyana route since 2020. 6 new major hotel brands were added in 2025, adding 738 rooms to the country's official room stock. Guyana is on track to add over 1,000 additional rooms in 2026, increasing total room stock to over 5,600 by end of 2026, up from 3,280 in 2020. 18 newly registered Airbnb establishments in 2025, adding nearly 70 rooms, bringing the total to 115 establishments and 544 rooms. Advancement of new tourism products, eco-lodges, river and hinterland experiences, heritage and cultural tourism. 15 new experiential experiences were developed and launched in 2025. This takes us to 79 new experiences launched since 2020. We launched the Tourism is Everybody's Business campaign to raise awareness and influence positive societal change, encouraging all Guyanese to play their part. The World-Class Tourism and Hospitality Institute is expected to be completed this year, strengthening professional training and service excellence across the industry. Training is ongoing, and the GTA has trained over 8,000 persons since 2020.
Honorable Minister, you'll need an extension to conclude.
Mr. Speaker, I don't challenge you, but no, I checked. It was 6:30.
The honourable member started at 6:25. She has 35 minutes. According to Harbourjan, finished at 6:32. She began immediately after Harbourjan.
You're correct.
Right?
You're
So,
correct.
yeah,
You
she
have
has
10 more minutes.
plus 5, yes.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, Guyana continues to earn international recognition, securing the Bronze Award for Exhibition Design at Japan Expo 2025. Guyana was featured in Bloomberg's Where to Go in 2026. New York Times 52 Places to Go in 2026, and Wanderlust the Good to Go list in 2026. Looking ahead, as Guyana marks its Diamond Jubilee anniversary and positions itself as a regional hub for events, several conferences and international engagements will be hosted. The Guyana Energy Conference and Supply Chain Expo this month. The Caribbean Public Health Agency will host its 70th Annual Health Research Conference in April. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of Guyana will be hosting the 42nd Annual Caribbean Conference of Accountants in June, and our judiciary will host the Caribbean Association of Judicial Officers Conference in November. In that regard, it gives me great pleasure to announce that the Caribbean Tourism Organization's State of the Tourism Industry Conference will be hosted in Guyana in October for the very first time since its inception. This conference is CTO's premier gathering for tourism leaders of the Caribbean and attracts hundreds of regional and international delegates, positioning Guyana as a major player in the development of MICE tourism. That is, meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions. Additionally, we have developed our national calendar of events to drive year-round visitor arrivals, designed special packages for tourists and visitors, we will introduce new events like the Guyana Festival, and will elevate some of our existing events under the stewardship of the former minister and my colleague, Origins Fashion Festival and the One Guyana Worship Experience. The reduction of the 14-day residency requirement for destination weddings unlocks opportunities and revenues for small businesses in this rapidly growing niche tourism market. This one measure alone creates new opportunities for caterers, wedding planners, transportation service providers, photographers and videographers, decorators and designers, among many others. As I often say, the greatest beneficiaries of Guyana's tourism investments are small business owners. That brings me now to small business development. I began my presentation by saying this budget is the vehicle through which we will commence implementation of our manifesto commitments. One of the most exciting manifesto commitments is the establishment of a SME development bank. Budget 2026 establishes that $100 million fund that will see small and medium businesses access interest-free and collateral-free loans of up to $3 million, with the possibility of an additional $7 million through co-financing with a banking institution at preferential rates. Mr. Speaker, this is not a small one-off grant. This is access to real finance that can really make a difference in someone's life and tremendously alter the course of their future. The announcement of special investment zones spread across various geographical areas attracts investment and accelerates regional development. Expansion of export allowance to include value-added timber products enhances competitiveness for local manufacturers and exporters. The removal of VAT on locally made furniture supports domestic manufacturing and hotels. The removal of corporate taxes on agriculture and agro-processing strengthens value-added production and food security. Mr. Speaker, in 2025, the Small Business Bureau placed increased emphasis on community development projects aimed at strengthening sustainability at the local level. To date, 24 communities have benefited from this initiative with direct impact on approximately 250 persons. Through these efforts, communities across almost every region of the country are now engaged in larger scale projects capable of generating employment and consistent income. In 2026, the Bureau will continue to support small businesses through development grants with a target of at least 1,500 beneficiaries. Strong emphasis will remain on community-based projects. Additionally, 32 businesses benefited from the Loan Guarantee Program, representing an investment of more than $270 million. This program supports businesses seeking expansion but lacking the collateral required by lending institutions. Through the SBB, we back these businesses with up to 70% of the collateral required to access up to $30 million. Budget 2026 provides for assistance to an additional 60 businesses. In alignment with the People's Progressive Party civic government's broader initiatives to support persons living with disability, the SBB continues to offer collateral-free, interest-free loans for business startups and expansions. In 2025, 32 persons living with disability benefited from this initiative. A key pillar of our small business agenda is training. Over the last 5 years under our government, approximately 17,000 persons have been trained in areas such as marketing, financial management, and record keeping. In 2025 alone, more than 3,200 small businesses benefited from training, with a similar number to be trained in 2026. Our monitoring and evaluation unit continues to conduct follow-up visits to ensure the sustainability of supported enterprises. In 2025, the Small Business Bureau visited 658 businesses, and I am pleased to report that 89% of those supported remain operational. You would recall the empty business incubators that were built under the APNU AFC government. That was nothing more than a shell. Under this People's Progressive Party civic administration, the reality has changed significantly. In 2025 alone, the Belvedere Business Incubator produced almost 18,000 pounds of flour, more than 2,300 liters of virgin coconut oil, 124,368 sachets of tea bags, and over 250,000 bottles to support packaging. All of this is free support given to our small agro processors. As a result of this incubator's operation, 30 businesses in Region 5 and 6 were not only allowed to thrive, but were able to generate employment. Similarly, the Lethem Business Incubator has also facilitated the creation of jobs and continues to provide storefront pods and office space rentals to support small businesses in Region 9. Agro processors interested in marketing value-added products can access glass front pods to showcase and sell their items directly to the public. Additionally, the Lethem Business Incubator Center's new agro-processing facility is slated for commissioning in April this year. This open concept facility will house state-of-the-art equipment to support farmers in Lethem and 58 surrounding villages. It will include 2 industrial walk-in refrigerators, one for meat products, particularly poultry, and another for vegetables and fruits, along with 4 freezers and dedicated produce storage space. Our support for small business is geared towards the expansion of non-oil sector activity aligned with national diversification goals. The Standards and Quality Infrastructure, GNBS. The GNBS is the national standards body for Guyana. With its 6 core services, this agency continues to develop, promote, and implement national and international standards to ensure the growth and competitiveness of industries and ensure the safety and protection of consumers. The Bureau continues to develop and approve an average of over 13 national standards annually, which are important for improvement for products and services, streamlining and benchmarking industry practices, regulations, and trade. 34 standards were approved last year for storage, protective helmets for road users, the handling and transportation of LPG cylinders, and low-pressure regulators for LPG cylinders. In total, 68 standards were developed in 2025. An additional 33 are projected to be approved in 2026. In 2026, also, a national standardization strategy, 2026 to 2030, is expected to be implemented. This is a multi-year work program which prioritizes standards to be developed in line with Guyana's national development plans.
Minister, now you need that extension.
Okay.
Yes, I can confirm now that the Speaker and myself have similar numbers. Yes, I would like to ask that the Honourable Member be given 5 more minutes to conclude her presentation.
Thank you, Minister. You may continue.
Thank you. The GNBS has a key role in the oil and gas sector to witness the verification of the custody transfer meters for the accuracy of measurements of crude on the FPSOs offshore. In 2025, the GNBS witnessed a total of 260 lifts, representing 100% of those lifts. In 2025, the GNBS commenced the verification of stationary speed cameras, with a total of 41,114 verifications of measuring instruments conducted countrywide. In 2026, we are projecting to introduce verification of tint meters, sound level meters, and speed limiter for trucks. Consumer protection and fair trade. The role of the Competition and Consumer Affairs Commission is indispensable in safeguarding consumer rights and ensuring that consumers are treated with fairness and respect. The CCAC has maintained a robust public information and education campaign featuring weekly radio updates, regular stakeholder engagements, including active participation in key regional, national, and industry expos, and continues to advocate consumer protection, strengthen consumer education, and complaint resolution systems. These efforts have borne significant fruit. In 2025, the Commission received 506 complaints. 85% of these cases were resolved, and the others are still being actively pursued. The CCAC has instituted aggressive market surveillance to ensure fairness, transparency, and compliance. In 2025, 1,331 business inspections were conducted in all the administrative regions. We project for 2026 a similar number, resolving at least 85% of all consumer complaints, and a continuation of our nationwide business inspections and certification, and of course, continued awareness of the consumer protection legislation with a focus on remote areas. Mr. Speaker, this budget affirms that tourism, industry, and commerce are not supporting sectors of development. They are frontline drivers of national transformation. By investing in MSMEs, strengthening access to finance through the Guyana Development Bank, expanding standards, and unlocking new markets for manufacturers, farmers, creatives, and service providers, Guyana is building an economy where opportunity is created in every community, from the coast to the hinterland. Every visitor welcomed, every product exported, every business formalized, and every consumer protected sends a clear signal that growth in these sectors must be inclusive, competitive, and sustainable. This is our commitment: to position Guyana as a destination to visit, to invest in, and a country to build, powered by the enterprise and ambition of its people. I therefore commend Budget 2026 for passage in this Honorable House. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, Susan Rodriguez. And now for the Honorable Member, Mr. Kwesi Solomon.
God is great.
Amen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, before this House is invited to accept this unoriginally titled fiction of a budget that claims to put the Guyanese people first, let me first deal with a more basic inquiry made by the Honorable Minister of Finance himself. But before I do that, Mr. Speaker, let me thank those diligent public servants who slaved to ensure that those fictional numbers came before us so that we can be able to identify those many discrepancies by this government. But let me say first, Mr. Speaker, as a reminder, why Mr. Granger and Harman and even Mr. Norton allow me to reintroduce myself. My name, Mr. Speaker, is Qs Sharm Solomon, a proud descendant from the village of Victoria, not gifted by the empires, but purchased by formerly enslaved Africans from the colonial masters, who still have their names, my surname, four of them to be exact, etched in the records of that transaction. A reminder that long before modern Guyana, we stood as ownership, sacrificed with responsibility to build this nation. My parents took that drive to Region 10, Mr. Speaker, and made their contribution of building one of the most beautiful regions in this country on the bauxite blood, sweat, and tears. But let me just say this, Mr. Speaker, that spirit still lives on in me. So, Mr. Speaker, while the question was asked by the minister why I was not given a seat by Mr. Granger and Harmon, let me remind him and this government that I received more than a seat. I got a chair to sit opposite that said minister and the Ramatar government to demand that what was taken unjustly from the people remain in the budget, that today it can still find itself in this budget. That is what I did with that chair, Mr. Speaker. That is what we did. But let me just say, outside of reminding this minister what that chair allowed me to do, Mr. Speaker, that today we are benefiting in Region 10 from that. Mr. Norton said to me to come here to ensure that we hold you all accountable. So Mr. Norton played his part as much as Mr. Granger and Mr. Harmon. But let me just say that it was ensuring that Article 13, which you, Mr. Speaker, would know that this government have no responsibility to respect the rights of citizens to be involved in the decision-making process that impacts their lives. So let me just say this, Mr. Speaker. As much as we hear of all the brilliance, and I respect the brilliance of the minister, enough numbers to put together isn't easy. So that mathematical genius of this minister is not to question it, it is to question the integrity of what he does with that mathematics. So let me remind this minister, after years of expanding budgets, record oil revenues, glowing press releases, Guyana today faces this reality, Mr. Speaker. 58% of the population lives in poverty and surviving on almost $1,200 a day. Let me say this to you, Mr. Speaker. 38% of this population lives in abject poverty and exists on almost $650 a day. That is the brilliant maths. But let me remind our brilliant mathematician that these figures are not the opposition propaganda. They are the acknowledgement of the Inter-American Development Bank, the very institution that this minister proudly referred to on the 2nd of December as long-standing friends. But let me say this, friends don't lie. Friends don't lie, neither do they flatter. So, Mr. Speaker, in essence, the minister friends have labeled him an utter failure for failing 58% of the Guyanese people who lives in poverty. By moving towards, Mr. Speaker, natural resources, which they've given me the opportunity to look at. So, Mr. Speaker, let me say this. The state of the sector and what has been done with the promises made. Significantly, mining is part of the non-oil sector and contributes significantly to that. But let me just say what that have done for those regions. What we are doing in this opposition is to ensure that those regions are well represented and given their fair share. So let me remind this House, Mr. Speaker, that those primary regions of 1, 7, 8, 9, and 10, these regions that provide, supply national economy, but remain structurally and socially underdeveloped. Let us be clear, non-oil extractive sector did not disappear. It went because of neglect by this government, Mr. Speaker. And what we have is almost 2/3 of this landmass, with over 25% of its population, cannot see the benefits of the extractive sector. But let me remind what goal within that extractive sector looked like in 2011 to 2015. With a constant target being set of 500,000 ounces, Mr. Speaker, we've never hit that target. So the aim maybe need to change. Somebody firing blanks, Mr. Speaker. But let me say outside of the blanks they're firing, because the APN-UAFC government came in 2015, and in 2016 to 2020, we had an average gold price of a gold declaration of over 500,000 ounces, Mr. Speaker. We also in that period hit almost 700 or over 1,000 ounces of gold. Can you imagine that? But let me tell you what the contrast is about gold. You had the peak period of gold. You had the peak period of gold within that 5-year period. That's the price. Was a heavy price. And we couldn't meet the demand with supply. But when the coalition came in, we rose the declaration to almost 700 or over 700,000 ounces. But let me say what happened when the coalition left. When we left, we have never found a 500,000 ounce target that today the ministers revised that target to see if we can hit again in 2026. And we have never had the price of gold that we have now at almost $5,000 an ounce, Mr. Speaker. So we have a demand once again, but we cannot meet the supply. And this is the legacy of this government in regards to gold. But let me talk about gas, Mr. Speaker. It was this government in the oil sector. When we signed that contract, I had a lot to say. Remember the talk about making the contract available? This government is yet to make one of those mining contracts available to this house and to this nation the way they asked the APNU to make available the oil contract. We call on this government now to make those contracts available so the Guyanese people can scrutinize it the same way we were able to scrutinize the Exxon contract. But let me say this to you, again in the natural resource, we talking forestry, I got enough time. But timber, Mr. Speaker, these communities where the extraction of timber takes place, Mr. Speaker, these interland regions daily, the roads, serve as extraction, not for residents. Value-added processing is minimal, and communities remain poor, forests are depleted, and people are not developed. I went to Kokwani a couple weeks ago, Ichuni. The minister took the time the week before to go there. 4 matters to address. Concessions the people want close to the communities, not addressed properly. We're giving it to the big companies. They ask about tags, can't get the tags so that they can produce properly. They ask about ensuring the road to Linden to Ichuni is done. Can't be done properly to date. People are suffering. But what is the biggest indictment of that visit, Mr. Speaker? What was said to those loggers in 2020 is that a 900 million fund is available for loggers to access. And to date, Mr. Speaker, not a single logging association or small man, which is there claiming to put in people first, benefited from that $900 million, a promise made in 2020 to our small loggers. 11 of them got that money, and none of them in small. That is it. You know what's the promise made to those loggers now? It is said to them that some merchant bank coming. You don't get when that bank come again. Let me hope so. But let me say this about sand and quarry. Because in those communities where we see the extraction of sand and quarry, although critical to the construction boom, the region providing these materials lack the durable infrastructure, receive no structural reinvestment, and suffer many environmental degradation. Just check the Linden-Soesdijk Highway. You always drive them every day. Check it out. We see bauxite in this government's claim as doing quite well for the extractive sector. Both sides. We hear about Rousseau coming back on stream. But the only boast of this government is jobs. That cannot be the only boast. Not when Rousseau, after leaving here and leaving 400 of our Lindeners, Region 10 residents and Guyanese to suffer, we are bringing them back with no assurances, Mr. Speaker. That is what this House and this country would like to know. As much as we see the development and success in these minerals, just like we see bauxite is given 0.5 last year and 0.5 this year after making exceptional profits We are saying it cannot be only about jobs, but ensuring workers and Guyanese are taken care of better in this country, Mr. Speaker. But I'm coming outside of the extractive sector because Region 10 itself is an extractive hub. And what you see when you see in Region 10, it stands as the clearest distinction of an indictment of this government's approach to a people-centered economy. One of Guyana's most richest resource region and one of its most neglected governance in the region. Of 10 regions, this is the only region had no input into this budget by having a sitting Democratic Council to do so. That in itself, Mr. Speaker, shows the sort of neglect and takes away that Article 13, the right to be involved in the decision-making process. So we ask, Mr. Speaker, who really made the input into this 1.55 trillion budget on behalf of the people of Region 10? That in itself is what the people must know, and that is why they must know they got absolutely nothing except 6 new roads budget for them in budget 2026. But Mr. Speaker, outside of the fiction of the governance and ensuring that the decision-making process work in the interests of the people, they must say to us what Linden is with regards. It was Barrett Jagdeo, the Honorable, who said the administrators within these NDCs, the administrators who are REOs, the administrators who are clerks of councils, must behave as though they're servants and not lord over the people. Well, Mr. Speaker, that aspect of governance is certainly a failure when it comes to Linden and Region 10, more so the municipality. But it was the Honorable Bishop Edgell who boasted about the budget engagement. What engagement that would have set him that the NDIA office needs to be set up? It would have found itself in this budget. Never consulted the primary school for Wizrock, never consulted drains before roads are constructed, never consulted the shade house, never ensured that that shade house worked to provide food for the people of Linden and Region 10, Mr. Speaker. So we are saying to you, Mr. Speaker, that is what we see for Linden. But Linden is more than Region 10 is more than Linden. And I can tell you about Ichuni in Kokwani. It was the Minister of Public Works who went and put down a brand new airstrip over 60-year-old rotted pipe, Mr. Speaker. It means in a few months we can dig the airstrip up, Minister. Nobody show you that. Nobody tell you that the NDC chairs that she pointed out to your engineers and y'all still build the airstrip over a derelict pipe. But let me say this, Mr. Speaker.
As you pause, honourable member, we can take the extension for you to conclude.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Speaker, I move for the honourable member to be given 5 minutes to complete his presentation.
Well, let me say this, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much, Comrade Ganesh. You know, I remember we spoke about these communities, Region 10. Region 10 with all of its extraction. Region 10 with all of its extraction, Mr. Speaker. Let me say this. These regions represent, as I mentioned, over 75% of the landmass of this country. They're not by accident of the geography. In the absence of a binding social contract with these communities, between the extraction and the people who live there, those extractive communities, we are saying, with high extraction and low reinvestment, weak services and limited autonomy, these regions demand a new social contract with revenue sharing tied to the extraction, infrastructure, and proportional to the output and environmental accountability. Human development and benchmark, national development, cannot be accidental. It must be reciprocal. Mr. Speaker, other mining jurisdictions around the world, this is not nothing new. Canada, Australia, where communities that have mining industries have a contract where they benefit directly, and it's not new because our Amerindian brothers and sisters already have that sort of benefit when it comes to that. So for region 1, 7, 8, 9, and 10, this means legal recognition of community engagement tied to mining permit, setting local employment quota, training, procurement target, community funds, and ensuring that mining go back into the community in a tangible way. But let me say this, Mr. Speaker. I want to get quickly to the issue of our public servants, because you know the point of the issue is Epstein, listen, Epstein, there's some who would make him look like child's play, no pun intended. No pun intended. And let me say this, no pun intended. Epstein, listen carefully. There's some who would make him look like child's play. But let me say this further, Mr. Speaker. No pun intended. Let me say this. What about taking taxpayers' money without their permission to ensure that they acquire land, erect buildings in parts of Guyana without the intent of giving the proper property back to these people? That is also what we call taking without permission. The resources are not there for their personal taking. It's not for your personal taking. It's for the benefit of the Guyanese people. But several examples of this behavior are on display, yet the minister have the temerity to come and tell this house that the government of which he is a part of is fighting corruption. He is saying that anti-corruption is in his budget speech. Now we must ask, the evidence exists that the police are already shooting children who they see taken without permission. We got people who corruption allegations have been leveled to. The minister said they're an anti-corruption unit being put in place soon.
The third time you use corruption would not be permitted. So we'll strike that one.
I was responding to the anti-corruption. I withdraw that, Mr. Speaker. So guided to the anti-corruption mentioned in the budget. The truth, Mr. Speaker, that putting people first, Mr. Speaker, people-centered budget would share the extraction benefit, respect constitutional participation, strengthen institutions, deliver justice, and transform those regions where extraction, including Region 10, is dominant. Budget 2026 does none of that. Instead, it prioritizes family, friends, and favorites, while leaving 58% of the population in poverty to live on $1,200 a day, and 38% in extreme poverty to live on $650 a day. Again, Mr. Speaker, this is not dignity, neither is it considered progress. It definitely is not a budget for the people. It is a budget for power. That is why it must be opposed in its current form, firmly and without apology. So in conclusion, Mr. Speaker, not until the potholes become a hospital bill and blackouts become a silent ICU, bridges trembles and budget speech echo are too late. Not until bad decisions come knocking on kitchen doors, and not until it comes sitting, sipping a cup of tea. Not until the investment failures turn into lost jobs and lost time, lost breath. Not until people realize in this country that policies are not paper, number. They're neutral. They're meant to serve the people. And only then will they see that danger is not coming. It is already here with this so-called people-centered, putting people first budget. We are not divided by parties in this country. We're united by the consequences that this government and its reckless actions have before us. We do not confront these choices now. We will be in a situation where we will fight for our survival in this country. That is the reality of Budget 2026. All those fancy numbers, cannot align with the policies when you're saying that institutions will investigate. Who is investigating the Sioux claim? Who is investigating the many murders? Who is dealing with the justice for Jamal Jones in Linden? Who is dealing with the justice for Keon Fudgene in Linden? Those independent institutions you speak of will not be independent to function unless they deliver justice to the Guyanese people. That is the fact of the matter, Mr. Speaker. So I want this government to know that putting people first means more than ensuring we got fancy numbers. It is ensuring that people benefit, not family, friends, and favorites, not those who we feel close to the power to ensure that they are given contracts. And I can ask the Honorable Minister Edgell, he knows what is happening in Linden. I am not the one who said it. Ask the many supporters of the government who took to social media live in the hundreds to denounce the minister and his behavior in Linden. Not me. Not me. They were loyalists. I ain't gonna call a name because I respect their decision, because they were correct. They were making a judgment not only on him, but the entire government, because they would know better. As they say, he who feels it knows it, and they felt it more than anyone else. So the minister can smile, but the minister knew exactly what they meant with those many allegations. But let me say this to this House, Mr. Speaker. Let me say this as I conclude. As I conclude. So somebody asked me about my ring. As I conclude, I can show a new ring. I hope somebody don't show me an old worn out ring.
Honorable member, you have to conclude. You're now 3 minutes over.
So let me thank this House for accommodating this presentation and to say that putting people first requires more than fancy number and loud mouth. It requires the work that was done, for example, we saw with the APNU in the gold sector to raise it from those missed targets to over 700,000 ounces. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member, Mr. Solomon. And now for the Honorable Minister of Natural Resources, the Honorable Vikram Bharat.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the 4th of September 2025, the people of this country came out in their large numbers and they voted solidly for the People's Progressive Party Civic for a second term in government, thereby renewing our mandate for another 5 years. Mr. Speaker, that was based on trust. It was based on a solid track record of development. It was based on deliverables, and most importantly, it was based on a manifesto with commitments. Commitments that Budget 2026 is already geared towards ensuring that we fulfill as a government within the next 5 years in office. Mr. Speaker, and on that note, I wish to commend the senior minister in the office of the President with responsibility for finance, the Director of Budget, and the hard-working team at the Ministry of Finance for putting this 2026 budget together. Mr. Speaker, further, I wish to commend and thank my own team from the Ministry of Natural Resources and its agencies for their support, their hard work, and their commitment to the extractive sectors, especially with regards to transparency and accountability. Mr. Speaker, there is no doubt that our country is moving forward. There is no doubt that Guyana is a hotspot globally for investment. There is no doubt that Guyana is certainly one of the fastest growing economy in the world. And that is not by mistake, Mr. Speaker. It is not because of the passage of time, but it is because of sound visionary leadership from His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, the President of our country. Mr. Speaker, it is because of good policies and programs designed to ensure that we put our Guyanese brothers and sisters first and foremost. It is policies and programs that are designed to enrich our people and to continue on the road of prosperity that has started in 2020. Mr. Speaker, and if we look at a few indicators that we see every single day that speaks to the development in our country. And one such indicator, Mr. Speaker, is our housing program, which we are proud of as the People's Progressive Party civic government. And it was mentioned earlier, Mr. Speaker, the People's Progressive Party civic government has delivered over 50,000 house lots in 5 years. That is our track record, and that is why on the 1st of September 2020, the people of this country placed us for another 5 years in government. The 2025 continue our progressive agenda to ensure that we fulfill the commitments in our manifesto. Mr. Speaker, today, our young people, instead of looking for an avenue out of Guyana in search of a better life, rather they are the Ministry of Housing looking for a house lot so that they can settle and work and develop their own country. Mr. Speaker, another indicator with regards to the development that is taking place in our country. And my dear friend, the Honorable Solomon, will tell you that 5 years ago, it will probably took him 1 hour and a half to get from here to Linden. And he will tell you now, to get home, it will probably take him 4 hours. Mainly because of the construction work that is ongoing on the East Bank Highway and the Linden Highway. Mainly because of the amount of vehicles that is in our country today. All of us complain on a daily basis of the traffic jam. But look at the silver lining in that. The silver lining in that is that the ordinary Guyanese today can own their own motor vehicle. The young people in this country can own their own motor vehicle. That is progress. That is an indication that our country is growing and growing at a rapid pace. Mr. Speaker, imagine it took us almost 18 months in the past to complete one series, that is 9,999 vehicles. Only recently, it took us, Mr. Speaker, 3 months. 3 months to register 9,999 motor vehicles in this country to Guyanese, to ordinary Guyanese families. Mr. Speaker, that is progress. That is a track record that we speak on. That is a track record that the people of this country has trusted us on. Mr. Speaker, another indicator that points to the development. Another indicator, Mr. Speaker, that points to development in our country. And it is sad that my good friend, the Honorable Natasha, had to come to the National Assembly to report that there is a house in Bushlot, West Coast, Borbies, with 35 adults and 15 children at a time in our country when there's great shortage of labor. There is shortage of labor in almost every single sector in this country. And in Linden, the mining town, where Bosa is investing heavily in the extraction and production of bauxite, they cannot find workers in Linden, Mr. Speaker. You ask any contractor, they cannot find workers. You ask any farmer, they cannot find workers because of the amount of employment that was created in this country over the last 5 years. And Mr. Speaker, I wish to speak on one final indicator towards the development of our country, and that is migration versus immigration. There was a time when Guyanese was running away. They were running away from this country in search of a better life. They were running away from Guyana in search of a better life because they lost hope in the government of the day at that time, because they lost hope in their own country, because they didn't see a good life in their own country. They were running away from this country. Today, our young people are dreaming. Today, our young people see a future in this country. Today, our young people are applying for house lots, gold scholarship, going to the University of Guyana, seeking a job, building a career, and living right here in our country, Mr. Speaker. And I deem that as probably the greatest achievement of the People's Progressive Party Civic in government, the restoration of hope in our people. Because many of you would recall that there was a time when people lost hope in this country. And for the young people who are here and who are listening, sometimes we ask ourselves, why are there so many Guyanese outside of Guyana? And we jokingly say sometimes that there are more Guyanese outside of Guyana than in Guyana. Why? Because they lost hope during the PNC dark dictatorship days. Because they fled this country in search of a better life. And we, the People's Progressive Party Civic, restore that hope in our young people so that they can dream again and they can stay here and develop this country, our beautiful country. Mr. Speaker, I know a lot have been mentioned about the mining sector. But before I go to the mining sector, I wish to speak on the oil and gas sector, of which I have responsibility. Mr. Speaker, I've heard from, I think it's the Shadow Minister of Natural Resources for wind, and then I read in an article that Honorable Member Solomon is also a Shadow Minister too. So that is the confusion in the opposition, Mr. Speaker. That is the confusion. Regardless, Mr. Speaker, regardless of who is shadow and who is shadowing and who is a shadow, both of them spoke, and they dare not spoke of the oil and gas sector, such an important sector in our country. And oil and gas has propelled the development in our country. Oil and gas has acted as a catalyst for the development in our country. Oil and gas has actually helped expand the other productive sectors in our country, like tourism, like manufacturing, like construction. Oil and gas has been the catalyst for that. And Mr. Speaker, before I speak on the production aspect, I want to speak on the transparency aspect of managing the oil and gas sector. But let me say in this House, Mr. Speaker, that Guyana's oil and gas sector, and as patriots, we should be proud of this. Guyana's oil and gas sector is regarded as one of the best managed oil and gas sector in the world among new oil producing countries. And that is a fact, Mr. Speaker. Every single new oil producing country is looking at Guyana as an example when they're drafting their framework to manage the oil and gas sector. Presently, Guyana is assisting a few of those countries that draft their local content legislation and to put system in place to manage the sector efficiently. And Mr. Speaker, an indicator as to how well or whether an oil and gas sector is managed properly, you can look around in your country and you can be able for yourself to judge whether the benefits are flowing to our people. And I would have highlighted a number of indicators which points to massive development in our country. And that speaks to the management of the oil and gas sector. Mr. Speaker, The same very gentleman, the honorable member, Terence Campbell, was part of the Natural Resource Fund board. He was part of it, so he very well knows of the strict transparency and accountability measures that are in place to monitor oil funds. And Mr. Speaker, that is something that we are very proud of.
That's right.
Because 1 year after taking government, on December 28, 2021 in this house, we passed the new Natural Resource Fund bill. Even though the mace disappeared from the house on that fateful night, this very important bill was passed in this National Assembly. And why is this bill so important, Mr. Speaker? Because there are many oil and gas producing countries in the world that took 20 years to put a sovereign wealth fund in place. They took 10 years to put a sovereign wealth fund in place. And many a times we like to look at Norway as a model oil and gas country. Norway took over 20 years to put a sovereign wealth fund in place. We did so, Mr. Speaker, after 1 year in government. After 1 year in government, we had a proper Natural Resources Fund Act in place, ensuring that the finance minister is not the one who dictates how funds should flow out of that Natural Resources Fund. But the only way funds can flow from that Natural Resources Fund is that there must be approval from the National Assembly, all of us here. And that is where the oversight comes from, and that is why it is so important that we place that clause into that bill, Mr. Speaker. The finance minister, even though he's so excited here, he can be jailed for 10 years if he doesn't come to the parliament and declare the revenue that flows into the Natural Resources Fund. 10 years and hard labor, and look at the man. He's very brilliant but small in size. Can you imagine 10 years of hard labor for my comrade? And that is where we place accountability. We place accountability on the front runner. Mr. Speaker, now there is a prescribed formula that in every budget we can announce how much is in the Natural Resources Fund, how much will flow into the budget, how much will remain at the ending of December 2026. We have already declared that. The Minister of Finance did that during his presentation. It is as clear as daylight, Mr. Speaker. It is as clear as daylight, Mr. Speaker. Any individual, Guyanese or not, could go online and you can look at the Gazette, where we gazette the oil revenue that flows into the Natural Resource Fund, and you can add down and you will know how much we receive in a given year. That is transparency. That is accountability. That is how you manage an oil and gas sector. Mr. Speaker, further, Guyana recently submitted its 2023 EITI report. It's 2023 EITI report. And we are already working, Mr. Speaker, to complete the 2024 annual report to be submitted on time. But most importantly, Mr. Speaker, this year is when we will do our second validation report. And it is unfortunate that the last validation exercise under the APNU AFC era, Guyana only scored 53 points. 53 points for transparency and accountability by the international body. Mr. Speaker, continuing, we have endeavored as a government that we are going to ensure that we publish all production license issue, that we are going to publish all environmental permit, and you go online and you will find those license, you will find those permits online today. That is transparency and accountability. And unfortunately, my friend, the Honorable Solomon left the house. But I wish to say to him, do your homework, my comrade. You are in the big league now. You are not a mayor anymore. You are a member of parliament. And to come here and to say that the mining contracts are hidden is false. It's misleading, Mr. Speaker. Because the finance minister can attest that on his website we have placed the contracts that were signed with all large-scale mining company, and it was announced on a press conference by the Honorable Vice President of this country, Dr. Barrett Jagdeo. Mr. Speaker, moving on transparency. Unfortunately, my friend, one of the shadow ministers of natural resources. The last time we had 3. Now apparently we have 3 again, with Terence throwing his hat in the ring. But Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, the gentleman was battling in his head. He had a battle in his head. And that battle was between his conscience, between his party's position, and between what AI generated for him. Because he sounds so confused, Mr. Speaker. And then today I see, when questions transparency and accountability in the oil and gas sector, we question production. But Mr. Speaker, maybe the gentleman doesn't know that on every FPSO offshore Guyana, and we have 4 now, soon we will have 5. On every FPSO offshore Guyana, we have a representative from the Ministry of Natural Resources on a full-time basis. We have a representative from the Environmental Protection Agency. We have a representative from the Guyana National Bureau and Standards. We have a representative from the GRA, the Guyana Revenue Authority, overlooking our interests. Overlooking our interests. And the only time there can be an offtake of crude from that FPSO into a tanker is if these individuals are present there. No offtake can be done with GRA or GNBS or EPA or the Ministry of Natural Resources representative. That is transparency and accountability. That is a government working for its people to ensure that is greater oversight over such an important sector that is propelling our economy and bringing the global spotlight upon us. Mr. Speaker, production today is over 900,000 barrels per day. This is unprecedented in the oil and gas history, Mr. Speaker. It is unprecedented to move from discovery in May of 2015 to 920,000 barrels per day 10 years after, just over 10 years after. That is never heard of. Our success rate, Mr. Speaker, at exploration well in deep water is over 80%, unheard of in the oil and gas sector. And this is through prudent management, Mr. Speaker. This is through the good management and, of course, visionary leadership. And I wish to speak on that, Mr. Speaker, because there are many countries in this world with oil and gas. There are many countries where oil has been a curse to some of those countries, while it has been a blessing to others like Guyana. And we don't have to look too far. Our neighbor next door that is claiming 2/3 of our land, that very country holds 300 billion barrels of oil compared to Guyana's 11 billion barrels of oil. 300 billion compared to 11 billion. And Mr. Speaker, the country with 11 billion barrels of oil is one of the fastest growing economy in the world. That is what you call leadership. And that is the leadership that we are receiving from His Excellency President Ali and Vice President Barrett Jagdeo, who have overall responsibility for the oil and gas sector. It calls for good leadership. And that is what we have, and that is what we promise the people of this country. Yes. Mr. Speaker, only recently we signed 2 new agreements with oil companies around the world. And Mr. Speaker, these two new agreements have earned our country $32 million in signing bonus only. $32 million, which for only 2 blocks, and which has already been deposited into the Natural Resources Fund. Mr. Speaker, I'm sure the country can remember. The country can remember when the AP and UAFC received 18 million sign-in bonus and hid it from the people of this country for over a year. For over a year. Mr. Speaker, I was fortunate to be in the Parliament. I was in the Parliament when the question was asked of that particular finance minister, and his answer to the people of this country was that he thought it was a gift. He thought that it was a gift. And then another minister of that government said the money is tucked away safely to fight off Venezuela in the International Court. 1.5 years after, Mr. Speaker. And just to draw a comparison, the APNU AFC government at that time, Mr. Speaker, accepted an 18 million sign-in bonus for a block that is over 26,000 square kilometers. When we would have earned 32 million sign-in bonus for 2 blocks less than 4,000 square kilometers. That is management. That is putting the people first. That is looking out for the interests of our people. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, while we have been managing production and exploration, and we will continue to encourage exploration in a safe, environmentally friendly way, because it brings opportunity to our people. And we have seen that through the establishment of the Local Content Secretariat in January of 2022, after the passage of the bill here in December of 2021. We have seen the almost flawless of the implementation of the local content legislation in this country, where today we have over 1,200 Guyanese businesses registered with the Local Content Secretariat and are providing goods and services to the oil companies in this country. Without that legislation, Mr. Speaker, we as Guyanese would have been bystanders. We would have been spectators in our own country. And when we were doing consultation for that bill, Mr. Speaker, many of the critics said that legislation would kill the oil and gas sector. And we said we are going to forge ahead because Guyanese must benefit from the oil and gas sector. And we are seeing the results today. Over $2 billion already brought into our economy because of that simple piece of legislation that we enacted. And the WTO. I can remember those arguments. I can remember those arguments by the opposition on that fateful night of the 28th of December 2021. Fateful because we almost lost this mace. We almost lost the mace on that night. Mr. Speaker, while we have been ensuring that we monitor the sector, we have also been building out the legislative framework to manage the sector in an efficient and environmentally friendly way. With the passage of the Petroleum Activities Act, a modern piece of legislation to manage an oil and gas sector, replacing a 1986 Exploration and Production Act. Mr. Speaker, only recently in this assembly, we would have passed the oil spill prevention bill, which is very critical for every single oil producing country in the world if you're serious about your environment. Because with our policies and programs, especially in the natural resources sector, while we encourage exploration and production, we are also mindful that the environment must be protected. that every single possible ways in which we can use to protect our environment, that we do so. That there is low impact mining, that in the oil and gas sector, we have a cap and stack in place in Guyana. One of the very few cap and stack in the world, and we have it in our country here in Guyana. So if in the event, God forbid, there's a blowout, we can deploy that rather than to wait for one from Texas or elsewhere. We have it in Guyana, Mr. Speaker. We ensure that we have an oil spill bill in place where it shows clear liabilities with regards to cleanup and compensation and restoration of marine environment. That is all spelled out, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish now to turn my attention to the mining sector. And we have heard a lot about the mining sector, particularly the gold sector. And Mr. Speaker, I've been in this National Assembly since October 2016. And I have never heard so much emphasis and so much excitement over the gold sector like 2026. And I wonder why there is so much excitement of the gold sector. I wonder why there is so much excitement and comments over the gold sector today. Maybe it is because the honorable opposition leader is Azuddin Mohammed, and we know the history to that. Maybe it's because the gold price is high, or probably it is because of the prudent management of the sector, that today people see that there are real opportunities in the gold sector, and a number of people are now going back into the sector, or they're gravitating towards the gold sector, but because there is great opportunity for Guyanese miners, especially in the gold sector. Mr. Speaker, since we took office in 2020 to date, over 1,000 small Guyanese miners have benefited from the access to land and the accessibility to the land through the expenditure of over 10 billion Guyana dollars on hinterland infrastructure to ensure that our roadways are safe. And Mr. Speaker, again, I say to my honorable friend Solomon, you really need to do your homework. This is the big league. This is the National Assembly. This is not the Town Council in Linden. You don't come here and then boast about production figures increasing massively in 2016 and 2017. It is as a result of the work done by the People's Progressive Party civic government between 2010 to 2015. It is because in those years, the two large-scale companies that were doing exploration under our government, that were building the mine under our government, it was in 2016 that they started production. So what you did is just to reap the fruits of our labor. And you're boasting today that it happened under the AP and UAFC. Yes, but the foundation was laid, because if you understand how the mining sector works, especially the large-scale mining sector, you would realize that it takes years to build a large-scale mine. And the Guyana Gold Fields, Aurora Gold Mine, and Troy Resources started to produce in 2016 and continue production all the way up to COVID, when Troy Resources closed and production went down because of the impact of COVID on most of the operations in the hinterland. Today, Mr. Speaker, we have seen a resurrection of the gold mining sector. We have seen a transformation of the gold mining sector. And it is sad and unfortunate that the Honorable Mr. Lewis will come to the Parliament and speak about enforcement compliance. What is wrong with enforcement and compliance? It is sad when we have opposition in this country, Mr. Speaker, that will come to the National Assembly and condemn compliance and enforcement, that encourage illegality just to gain cheap political points. That is a sad day for Guyana, Mr. Speaker. It's a sad day for Guyana, where we'll have opposition members coming here and bashing the enforcement and compliance by the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission. And he's so confused, Mr. Speaker, because in one breath, he's bashing the compliance and enforcement, and in another breath, he's saying we need border controls, stronger border controls, because we don't want the gold to be diverted. I think that was his word he used, because he was staying away from, the S word. He didn't want to use the S word. And I wouldn't use, Mr. Speaker, because I know smuggling is unparliamentary. So he was using the word diverted. They're diverting the goal across the border.
Let me divert your attention to an extension.
Mr. Speaker, the honourable member, I ask that he be given 5 more minutes to conclude his presentation.
Thank you, Honourable Member. You may proceed to conclude.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Madam Chief Whip. Mr. Speaker, let me move on quickly. Let me move on quick. It's not there. Let me move on, Mr. Speaker, to bauxite. It was mentioned again. It was mentioned again by the honourable member that we have to ensure that we look out for people. We always look out for people, Mr. Speaker. That is why we kept the bauxite mine in Linden going. That is why we kept it open, so that it can create economic opportunities in the mining town of Linden and create jobs for the people there. And your government chased away Russell and 500 persons. Unfortunately, 500 persons, mostly from the Barbies River, Kokwani, Aichuni, and in New Amsterdam, lost their jobs because of your poor actions. And today, Mr. Speaker, we have entered into an agreement with that company to come back into the Barbies River area and to restart that operation, thereby creating jobs for people in the Barbies River area. Mr. Speaker, if I may quickly move to the forestry sector. Mr. Speaker, the forestry sector, as we know it in 2020, was bankrupt. Production was at all-time low at 345,000 cubic annually. We would have increased that in 2025 by over 150,000 cubic, Mr. Speaker. Today, Mr. Speaker, Guyana is a leader in this world when it comes to forests and forest management. Today we can boast that we have one of the lowest deforestation rates in the world. Today we can boast, Mr. Speaker, that Guyana is one of the greenest countries on earth. We can boast that we have one of the best forest management systems in the world. We can boast that even in our own commitments in the low carbon development strategy, that our deforestation rate is way below that. We can boast that we are one of the only countries in the world that would have signed a jurisdictional carbon credit deal. We can boast as one of the only countries in the world that have earned revenue for legacy credits. That's right. We can boast of the only country in the world that today we are certified to sell credits to the airline industry. That's correct. And that is because of the prudent management of this sector, Mr. Speaker. Because we throw away the rubbish green state development. And we want to assure our indigenous brothers and sisters that you will continue to receive the revenue from the sale of carbon credit for the next 7 years, because it is a 10-year deal that we have with S Corporation. So, Mr. Speaker, I wish to commend Budget 2026 as a masterpiece, to ensuring that benefits flow to our people. And that is why the team was carefully crafted, putting people first. That's right. Putting people first. And if we build a highway like the Linden Highway, it is benefiting people. If we continue the Heroes Highway, it is benefiting people. So you may want to criticize the budget as an infrastructure budget and to parrot sentiments from the past, but it benefits people. That's right. When we give 100,000 cash grant, Mr. Speaker, that is putting people first. Right. When we pay our children's school fees, CXC fees, that is putting people first. When we give our children the Because We Care cash grant of $85,000, that is putting people first. Right. When we remove the toll from the Barbies River Bridge and the Whisper River Bridge and the Barajak River Bridge, that is putting people first. When we created employment across all the sectors, that is putting people first. When we distributed over 50,000 house lots, that is putting people first. When we ensure that the University of Guyana is free, that is putting people first. When we ensure that every child, every person that apply for a scholarship will get a scholarship, that is putting people first, Mr. Speaker. When we take duty off of ATVs, that is putting people first. When we reduce duty from four-door pickups, that is putting people first. When we remove VAT off of wood products, that is putting people first, Mr. Speaker. That is creating economic opportunities for our people. That is ensuring that our industry are regionally and internationally competitive. That is creating opportunities in the value-added sector, Mr. Speaker. And that is the direction in which we are heading as a country. So, Mr. Speaker, I wish to conclude by saying I truly commend this budget 2026, putting people first for the unanimous passage through this National Assembly. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Mr. Vikram Bharat. Before I take the next contributor, two announcements. Today, the Honorable Member, Mr. James Bond, is celebrating his birthday. Congratulations, Mr. Bond, on behalf of all of us in the National Assembly. And secondly, we are going to continue to conclusion. There are some refreshments that just arrived, so you can, as we continue to complete the list of speakers during this session, you can migrate downstairs and return to the Assembly. Honorable Member, Mr. Riaz Rupnarain, for your presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, before I address the Honorable House on the 2026 budget, I seek your indulgence to underscore the importance of today's delivery as my maiden speech to this noble assembly. I am the second person to come from Jackalope Pomeroon River since 1977 as an elected member of the National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, the journey reminds me of two enduring truths. First, what God has ordained for you will only come when it is destined to happen. And secondly, Mandela describes it better. Education is the greatest weapon you can use to change the world. And Mr. Speaker, I must express gratitude to the persons who placed their confidence and vote and made my presence in this honorable house possible. To the APNU supporters, and more particularly to the leader and comrades of the People's National Congress Reform. I have been elected by a few, but to represent all. From Pomeroon to Parliament. Mr. Speaker, it is precisely because of that responsibility to all Guyanese that I now turn to the matter before the House, the 2026 budget. A budget is not merely a financial document. It is a statement of priorities. I give acknowledgement to the honorable member. My mother taught me to always show respect to the elderly and those who are especially needy. This budget of $1.558 trillion is the largest in the nation's history. Now, we would have wanted real transformation beyond infrastructure, bringing relief to working class people of this country, and represent fairness as it looks to put people first. Unfortunately, majority of it does not. Mr. Speaker, what we're seeing is a budget heavily weighted in infrastructure with far less attention to poverty reduction, reducing the cost of living, improving the lives of working class and vulnerable groups. Mr. Speaker, let me be pellucid. The budget will be spent on the people. It is a Guyanese budget. It is the largest in our history. So then monies will be injected into the economy. But my argument lies in who will be reaping the majority of the benefit. Is it those that need it, or is it those that want it? Mr. Speaker, it is not about aggregate figures, but the impact it will directly have on the individual and the family, on every individual, as the honorable members of the opposite side would have indicated. And before I proceed, I must share a WhatsApp message that I received before coming to the podium from a member of the Regional Democratic Council of Anna Regina, a non-supporter of the opposition, mind you, stating, please try and back up that we get more than $2,500 salary increase. Buy nothing for salary worker, like me fed up. It is to highlight that everybody stating that each individual will benefit. Mr. Speaker, during the course of yesterday and early today, the government members of parliament indicated that the budget is the best for all groups, of all people. But coincidentally, when everyone approached the podium, they kept repeating a few pension benefits, a few social benefits, repeatedly like a broken record. It's the same program that has received additional funding. That is why they have limited resource or limited statement to add for something new. Mr. Speaker, the increase in the income tax threshold removes just over 5,000 persons from the tax register. 5,000 persons out of a national labor force, which requires more than over 90% still remain on that taxation system. Now, this translates to $2,500. Not even a fraction of what the cost of living is in particular areas. And I've heard, especially this morning, that government members of parliament admitting that they are aware of the cost of certain commodities in far-flung area, and yet to intentionally sit and still plan the budget without catering for that is the temerity to be callous. Mr. Speaker, according to the IDB annual report, food prices have risen by 8.2% last year, August. Mr. Speaker, the mantra will be $2,500 better than anything. So let's look at the track record. Let's go 4 years before, 2022 budget presented by the same government members of parliament. $552.9 billion. The tax threshold was increased by 10,000 as well. Mr. Speaker, ultimately, same story, different day. Mr. Speaker, with all of this, they will say the budget benefits everybody, and we are lying. The budget has the numbers, but it lacks the priorities. Mr. Speaker, while the 10,000 increase for 10-day workers is a step forward, it reflects a short-term response to a long-standing structural issue. Many of these workers have given years of service under the 10-day program, but they yet remain without pension security or consistent NIS payment that will allow them to have access to broader social protection at present and beyond retirement. A stipend does not address the long-term problem. Mr. Speaker, we welcome development. We support infrastructure that advances Guyana. But development must mean more than concrete and contracts. It must mean that all citizens can afford the basic necessities. All citizens. Distribution must be focused not on equality, but also on equity. Mr. Speaker, I am well aware that the mere mention of poverty often invites immediate dismissal from the government members of parliament. as though acknowledging hardship is an act of disloyalty, particularly the IDB report, which has been constantly repeated. I can recall, I looked to see the government official, so I can't call his name in the parliament, mentioned on social media that the IDB report was supported by the labor force survey done in 2021, which means that the data is not relevant or it is inaccurate to draw a conclusion on an IDB's report. Mr. Speaker, the labor force survey is conducted by Guyana's own Bureau of Statistics. If the most current comprehensive poverty indicators available are not current, it is not the fault of the IDB. It is the fault of the National Data Management Committee. $1 trillion economy cannot operate on blind spot. We cannot consistently use poverty as a debating point. It should be a national priority. Mr. Speaker, several ministers in their speeches on social media and in public forums have indicated Guyana's commitment to the Sustainable Development Goals. But what about Goal 1, the eradication of poverty? Goal 10, the reduction of inequality? All must be committed to, not some. Mr. Speaker, assistance to students is always welcome. We do not oppose any help for children, particularly children, the elderly, and those who are differently able. However, a uniformed education grant treats unequal situation as though it is equal. A child traveling from Lower Pomeroon River to attend Charity Secondary School, which is the closest secondary school to their area, has to pay at approximately $2,000 per day. That is $390,000 per academic year. Taking into consideration if that family has 2 or more children attending the high school. Mr. Speaker, the residents in Pomeroon have indicated that at some days they have to make a decision of who to send and who to stay home. That is not the eradication of poverty. Mr. Speaker, the government has a boat that provides transportation for these students to the secondary school. The government, the boat cannot or does not carry all the students. Policy that ignores differences is just for visibility, not for transformation. Mr. Speaker, there are several instances, and if the minister so require, I can provide the details of same, where the students were told by the boat operator, facilitated by the council of the NDC, that they cannot travel in the school boat because their parents voted for an opposition party. As I indicated earlier, the information can be provided to the relevant ministry if requested. But to obey the rules of the parliamentary procedure, I will not call names without their presence. I just said you can have it, the honorable member. Mr. Speaker, as a teacher, I can tell you light travels faster than sound. And sometimes some persons look intelligent until you hear them speak. Mr. Speaker, this budget not only fails to address some domestic issues, but foreign policy issues as well. On matters of foreign relations, sovereignty and national security, there is no government of Guyana or opposition of Guyana. There is only Guyana. It is our national interest. We stand on Guyana's territorial integrity and sovereignty, and we support any measures to solidify this. But it must be in tangent with the interests of Guyanese people. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs allocations increased by 10% in the 2026 budget for Program 121. This is a crucial aspect, primarily as the ministry aims to develop foreign policy to target the Guyana-Venezuela territorial controversy in particular. Mr. Speaker, I anticipate at the speech of the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, a foreign policy framework will be given after a 6-year cycle on Guyana's strategic priorities, the obligations that we have under bilateral and multilateral agreement, and our social and security implications of those agreements that we have signed thus far. This becomes necessary because of the plethora of international events that have occurred over the past months, primarily with the absence of a parliamentary sectoral committee on foreign relations. Mr. Speaker, the minister will obviously say, as he did in his 2025-2024 speeches, that he inherited an incoherent foreign policy from the former administration. 6 years later on multiple budget cycle, there has to be one provided by the now office bearer. Mr. Speaker, in Program 121, the third strategy identifies education and awareness of the territorial controversy, of the Guyana-Venezuela territorial controversy. But how is this effectively being done? What are the indicators? Are the target groups? How is it being implemented, especially for areas like the Pomeroon River, Bartica, Lethem, and other border communities? In 2024, the Minister of Foreign Affairs indicated that training will resume after a hiatus, apparently because of the pandemic as well. Mr. Speaker, awareness cannot be an abstract line item. These citizens deserve explanation, reassurance, and inclusion, not silence. More than that, there is nothing in the budget to incentivize our border communities and bring calm to reassure them. Our bordering communities must be treated as an important part of foreign policy. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs need to work in collaboration with the Ministry of Education to ensure that all students are aware of the history that they're intellectually ready to protect our country's sovereignty when they hold these offices that we presently occupy. Mr. Speaker, we must not assume that a simple program done when our borders are being threatened or a Patriotic Day significance is done on a program to pacify and curb the anxiety of the people, especially those residing in the county of Essequibo. Mr. Speaker, at present, the Caribbean Examination Council is revising the CSEC history and Cape history syllabi. It is paramount that both ministries ensure that the Guyana-Venezuela territorial controversy is added to those syllabi. This will ensure that not only the Guyanese students, but the Caribbean students are aware of the right we have to Essequibo. Mr. Speaker, we need to train the teachers to implement the program and also to provide the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to facilitate personnel to travel to border communities with information and at the level that they understand, and not the fancy terminology or the protocols that are established in diplomacy on a program assuming that they all have access to it. The people need their attention to be pacified. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs said in his 2025 budget speech that ministries are working together to achieve the 2030 SDG agenda. The same must be done for national interests. We have Caribbean history teachers at the 11th hour asking students to change their SBA topic because they are unable to grade a paper on the territorial controversy. Mr. Speaker, this is an indicator that education and awareness are not being done effectively. Having a couple of television programs in the city will not curb the situation. Mr. Speaker, the opposition is deeply concerned about the perception of Guyana's foreign policy becoming more reactive and less proactive. And don't take my word for it. As two of the Guyanese students who were studying in Jamaica under CSEC scholarship would have indicated to the media outlets when Hurricane Melissa struck Jamaica, that learning lesson for the government is to establish proactive, comprehensive plans for future emergencies affecting Guyanese students abroad. Guyana must cooperate internationally, but cooperation must never be compliance without consent.
Okay, I need a consent of the House so you can conclude.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I ask that the honourable member be given 5 minutes to conclude his presentation.
Thank you, Honorable MP. You may proceed to conclude.
Mr. Speaker, the penultimate speaker of yesterday's debate highlighted the need to work collectively for the greater good of this country and represent those who have elected us. I agree fully. But this cooperation must be collectively done. For Parliament is too often informed about decisions after they have already been made. rather than consulted beforehand. I conclude on a worrisome note, Mr. Speaker, that the budget gives most people significant desire, which is the freedom of speech and expression. That freedom is only allowed when it is in favor of the government. When people speak up against what they experience, they are persecuted. Yes, Mr. Speaker, persecuted. As communities like Lima Sands, that the ground is only allowed to be used by their party supporters, and people are fearful to inform the relevant authority because they do not want to lose access to the only income that they have. Their party supporters guard as though transport has been given to those persons, and in some cases, even they spend social aid. Mr. Speaker, fear, that is how we have some of our people. Fearful and submissive, they must demonstrate godlike gratitude to government for things that the state has given them, that the state is mandated to give them, that they as Guyanese, as taxpayers, as natives of this land are entitled to. Mr. Speaker, this will also be claimed to be lies. But let me remind the honorable member that at the close of yesterday's debate, your own member of parliament stood and stated that pensioners should be thankful for the increase because it is a supplement they did not work for. I guess that too was AI. It is sad when our elders have to beg to be cared for. Whatever makes you sleep at night. The ministers cannot ask for feedback and impact. They need to verify data for themselves, because ultimately it's the staff's job, but your accountability. You can't keep the staff, and when the incompetence is exposed, you throw the staff under the bus. Mr. Speaker, I average it is easier to dismiss it completely, cover it with election rhetoric, rather than seeking to solve the problem for our people. Mr. Speaker, a common phrase that people say when you traverse areas, especially at Charity in Pomeroon, is that even the foreigners are treated better than them, and we are second-class citizens in our own country. Mr. Speaker, a $1 trillion plus budget is not an achievement if most of the people still remain poor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Mr. Ruth Lorraine. And now for the Honorable Minister in the Ministry of Public Works, the Honorable Madan Lal Ramraj.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is with great honor I am allowed to make my first contribution to this 2026 debate. I wish to begin by commending the Honorable Senior Minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance and my colleague cabinet, my colleague Dr. Ashni Kumar Singh, for presenting a visionary budget presented under the theme, Putting People First, one that continues the PPPC government unwavering commitment to equitable development, modern infrastructure, and a better quality of life for everyone. I also wish to commend, Mr. Speaker, the Director of Budget and her team, our team in the Ministry of Public Works, and all the teams in the different and various ministries. Mr. Speaker, guided by his transformative vision of His Excellency President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, and underpinned by the prudent management and responsible stewardship across all 10 administrative regions, the result of this national transformation are visible and undeniable. Since 2020, the People's Progressive Party Civic Government Administration has faithfully implemented and delivered on its commitment made to the Guyanese people. Mr. Speaker, that is why the people of Guyana voted the People's Progressive Party Civic back to office with a clear, commanding, and resounding mandate of over 40,000 votes. Mr. Speaker, while others deal in talks, and we heard many of it for the past 2 days, the government delivers result. Mr. Speaker, every dollar spent on infrastructure increases tenfold the economic dollar value. By this, I mean that today, if a street is being built, Mr. Speaker, the value of a house lot or a plot of land within that area has gone up significantly. And this we have seen, and I will provide examples of what I'm saying, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, very important. And I think members on the other side create that impression that everything seems to be not good or everything seems to be bad. But Mr. Speaker, if members paid attention and keep or feel the pulse of what is happening in the Guyanese economy, they would really think otherwise. Because there are some indicators to determine how the pulse of an economy is derived. When you look at growth, that is one of the determining factors. Jobs and income is another determining factor. Prices, inflation is another determining factor. Investment is another determining factor. And consumer spending tops it all. Mr. Speaker, and we have ticked all the boxes, all the boxes that we have been ticked. Mr. Speaker, so to come here and to say that we are not been delivering and that we have been spending and those kinds of things, Mr. Speaker, it's not correct. It's not correct to say those kinds of things. And you know why, Mr. Speaker? In 2025, the economy, the growth, 19.3%, that's the economic growth. It's in front of our eyes. With the non-oil economy, 14.3%. Mr. Speaker, in 2025, the Ministry of Public Works in 2025, Mr. Speaker, issued, I'm showing what development look like. In the Ministry of Public Works, we have issued over 5,000 contracts. 5,000 contracts and over 12,000 projects executed nationwide. Mr. Speaker, this is development for every single Guyanese. Unmatched. And let me go region by region so we can have an appreciation, Minister. Because I heard Region 1, member of Region 1, and member of Region 10 seems to be, they are being excluded from the national development. From Region 2, in Region 2, there were 326 projects that valued $11.7 billion. Region 3, 524 projects valued $49 billion. Region 4, 21, 57 projects, valued $65.3 billion. Region 5, 389 projects, valued $11 billion. Region 6, 857 projects, valued $72.1 billion. Region 10, 758 projects, valued $16.6 billion. Mr. Speaker, and my mathematics, I think is good. This value, when you add all of this, it's $225 billion valued, and this goes into contracts, and this goes into people's pocket. These are contracts that is going to people's pockets. That is correct. That is correct. Mr. Speaker, I heard as if nothing is being done in the hinterland. As if nothing is being done in the hinterland. From 2020, let us put the record straight, Mr. Speaker. For 2020 to 25, Region 1, 302 kilometers of road, either constructed or maintained, $6.5 billion. Region 7, 449 kilometers of road, either constructed or maintained, $5.4 billion. Region 8, 613 kilometers of road, constructed or maintained, $4.3 billion. Region 9, 1,486 kilometers of road, constructed or maintained, valued $5.3 billion. Region 10, 909 kilometers of road, valued $5 billion, were constructed and maintained. A total of $26.5 billion. Mr. Speaker, I am telling you, I'm moving on. I'm giving you some details now, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, for the fiscal year in 2024, in Whitewater, in Region 1, in Whitewater, 1 kilometers of road have been completed, valued $225,278,000. In Warramuri, Region 1, 1 kilometer of road completed 100%, $300,548,000. In Region 9, Yukonparo, 1 kilometers of road, valued $339,862 was completed. In Region 9, again, Rukamutu, 1 kilometers of road completed 100%, $302,199,000. That's for region. That's in 2024. $1,167,886. In region for 2025, Mr. Speaker, Whitewater Phase 2 and 3. Yes. Whitewater Phase 2 and 3, 2 kilometers. Complete, 100% completed, $450,556,000 in the community hands. Walna, 3 kilometers of road have been completed, and work is progressing on the drain, and which is progressing smoothly, $665,925,000, Mr. Speaker. In Warramuri, 1 kilometers of road has been completed, Mr. Speaker, $300,545,000. In Arakaka, Region 1 again, 1 kilometer of road has been completed, 100%, $318,178,000. In Kamwata, Maruka, 1 kilometers of road have been completed, $257,041,000. In Huradai, work on tracks and are progressing, 85% completed, Mr. Speaker, $217,082,000. Barbina Hill, work are ongoing, 30% completed, Mr. Speaker, $262,400,000. $587,000. Kamwata, Mabaruma again, 1 kilometers of road, 100% completed, Mr. Speaker, 230,896, Mr. Speaker, for the fiscal year, that is for 2025. Monkey Mountain in Region 8, 1 kilometer of road has been completed, work are going on 2 kilometers of road, valued, it is 80% completed, Mr. Speaker, 755,199,000, Mr. Speaker. Paramakatoy, 2 kilometers of road have been completed, Mr. Speaker, $876,757 million. Mr. Speaker, for 2025, 4,334,772, give a total of for 2024 and 2025, 5,502,658. Mr. Speaker, and we are in this House listening to honorable members saying that there's no development, that there's no in what is happening. Mr. Speaker, these figures don't lie. These are figures, these are accurate figures. Mr. Speaker, and this is not all. This is only for public works. This are only roads. We heard all the different sectors speaking about development in interior location. Mr. Speaker, and this is not all. This is not all. We are talking about airstrips. In the Matthews Ridge, it's 20% completed, Mr. Speaker. The value of that is $1.5 billion, Mr. Speaker. In Region 9, the Aishalton airstrip is completed at a cost of $920,398. In Karasabai, it's 20% completed, $995 million, Mr. Speaker. These are what we are speaking about. This is what the government is talking about. When we talk about people investment, this is exactly, and my honorable member, all of it will be done. Don't be afraid. This government looks out for people. All of it will be done. All of it will be done. We are not adverse to criticism and works that have not been done. We will get it done. We will get it done. Mr. Speaker, I want to give you examples of my recent visit. Mr. Speaker, last Thursday, I visited Region 7 and spent quite some time in Bartica. Mr. Speaker, the development trajectory and what is happening in Region 7 is unprecedented. We were told those roads that joins by the Rabo and Bartica Patara Road has been completed. And when, Mr. Speaker, people used to pay $1,000 for a short drop, or it has to go wrong, and etc., they're paying $200 now. $200, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was told, I went to all the roads developing there and made an assessment, and there's a cry for more. And we understand that there's going to be a continuous cry. That's why we are in front of this House. That's why we are here to debate budget, because we want to continue the development. Yes. Mr. Speaker, so I was told, yes, Jawala too, Mr. Speaker, I was told that there's a backlog in cargo movement. There's a backlog in cargo movement. Mr. Speaker, there's only one vessel traversing the Parika-Bartica route, the MV Makora. Mr. Speaker, as soon, and I think by this weekend or next week, Honorable Minister, we should be able to have the MV Hercules completed.
It's ready, and we'll have the MV Hercules completed. And so we'll have 2 vessels moving from Bartica. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I made an on-the-spot decision. We had Monday. We had the vessel moving Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and it goes Saturday and come back Sunday. You know what I did, Mr. Speaker? I said, no, go Saturday, come back Saturday, go Sunday, come back Sunday. Mr. Speaker, you know what the deputy mayor of Bartica told me? He said, Minister, thank you very much. He said, Minister, every boat, every vessel that come here, a new car is in the vessel. That's what he said. So, Mr. Speaker, it means I am putting it at a minimum. I am putting it at a minimum that a 5 car, I am putting it as a 5 car per week. Mr. Speaker, it means that every month at least 20 new cars are going into Bartica, into Region 7. Mr. Speaker, and we are hearing today, or we are hearing that we are talking about not putting people on force. We are here, all of this here. Mr. Speaker, that's on Thursday. On Friday, I went to Region 8. I visited K2, I visit Madja, I visit Parmakatoy, I visit the highest village, Kubukabaro. It's, Mr. Speaker, it's the kind of transformation. Who would have expected that up 300 feet, 3,000 feet above the sea level, that roads are being constructed, people are asking for more. Who would have believed that? Those who could have believed that, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, only recently His Excellency commissioned the Parmakatoy airstrip. Go look at what is happening there. I was, Mr. Speaker, now, a couple of years ago, 2023, when I went to distribute the cash grant, I could not have gone from Parmakatoy to K2. Now I could have driven across. I drove, comrade. I drove. Sorry, I don't remember, Mr. Speaker. So that is what we are talking about. Putting people first. This is what you're calling development. This is 25 minutes. Mr. Speaker, this is what we are speaking about. Mr. Speaker, when we speak of putting people first, Mr. Speaker, this is what it means in practice. In 2025, Mr. Speaker, and the honorable members on the other side should listen to this. In 2025, under the Ministry of Public Works, 10,868 small contractors benefiting from contract for $14 million and up, while 1,600 medium-sized contractors got contract ranging from $14 million to $100 million. Mr. Speaker, we are talking about 12,000 contractors. These are small people who are benefiting from the government. This is only from Public Works. This is only from Public Works. What about all the other ones? Mr. Speaker, so, Mr. Speaker, this is what we are doing, putting people first. And this is what the budget speak about. Mr. Speaker, this is what is meant by putting people first. What it truly means. And the People's Progressive Party-led government has been delivering on that commitment, Mr. Speaker, not just for 1 year, but consistently since assuming office. Mr. Speaker, this is not progress on paper. It is progress felt in everyday life, in shorter travel times, stronger connectivity, new business opportunities, and improved livelihood for families and in both coastal and hinterland communities. Mr. Speaker, when we speak about village economies, when we speak about village economies, one can recall clearly, Mr. Speaker, not too long, a couple of years ago, when Rosal, when the village economy was destroyed in the Borbis area by closing the sugar estate, carelessly closing the sugar estate. Mr. Speaker, these are reversed. We are caring government. We care for every single community. We are building community by community. Can we go today and tell those people in Maka, or can we go to Sophia and tell those people there that you are not entitled to contracts, or you're not entitled to development? Can we do that? This government is callous. We are not callous enough to do that, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, so what we do? So, Mr. Speaker, what we do? We take, for instance, in Sophia, all those road contracts were given to contractors in Sophia. Every single way. Same thing in Annandale, same thing in across our country. Villages by villages, we are ensuring, we are empowering our community, Mr. Speaker. This is what the PPP civic government. That's the legacy of the PPP civic government, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, the work of the Ministry of Public Works, as I said, is not merely about infrastructure. It is about building the pathway through which opportunities reaches our people. Every road we construct, every bridge we erect, every port we modernize, every sea defense we reinforce forms part of a unified mission that is to create a Ghana that is fully connected, globally competitive, and truly inclusive. Mr. Speaker, over the past 5 years, the government has transformed investment into visible national progress. More than 10,000, under the Ministry of Public Works, over 10,000 roads and 430 bridges have been constructed or rehabilitated over the country. Along with this, 35,000 meters of new sea defense and river defenses have been built, and more than 425 meters rehabilitated, strengthening protection for families, businesses, and entire community against erosion and flooding. Mr. Speaker, every concrete we pour, Mr. Speaker, every BRC we install, Mr. Speaker, every revetment we put, Mr. Speaker, every boulders we put in our sea defense benefits the people of this country. Every single one we do. This is what is value for money, Mr. Speaker. This is how we think. This is a strategic thinking. This is when we put a road, when we put a bridge, it's a connectivity. It's just bringing people forward, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, those who say that this budget has nothing for the people have not really read this budget. They are certainly not have walked the roads and the communities and see the kind of transformation, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in 2025, along the East Bank corridor from Eccles to Yarracabra, 214 roads, Mr. Speaker, and I think this is Tuesday. Last Tuesday, I went here and visited these roads. No, that was 7-8. Mr. Speaker, it's so much. 214 roads were completed by 604 small community-based contractors. It's people from within the communities are building this road, Mr. Speaker. Putting income directly into the local household and ensuring that development is built by every communities and is meant to serve. Mr. Speaker, this People Progressive Party government is building a one Guyana, where a child in 5 miles Bartica and a shopkeeper in Corriverton share the same promise of progress, same opportunities, and the same future. Perhaps the most historic, Mr. Speaker, is the completion of the Demerara-Barrett-Jagdale-Demerara Bridge. A modern 4-way gateway between Region 3 and 4 replaces a 47-year-old structure. Mr. Speaker, if you don't be on the ground and walk the road and meet with people, you don't know what is happening. Mr. Speaker, through the vision of His Excellency the President, and under the stewardship of the Agriculture Minister, we have seen a boom in the production in Pomeroon. In Pomeroon, we have seen the increased production in paddy in Region 2. Mr. Speaker, for last year, 100,000 bags of paddy came from Region 2 all the way to Region 5. Mr. Speaker, you know what I want to get at, Mr. Speaker, is a new ferry, is a MV Hercules that were used to transport the paddy across the Barra-Jagdale-Demerara Bridge. That is the importance. That is the importance of our investment. Our investment is bringing tangible result, is benefiting every single farmers in Region 1, in Region 2. As far as Maruka, people are using this passageway, this new artery to come to the different regions. This is how a prudent, a thinking government get its activities completed. Mr. Speaker, previous to the bridge, the Barra-Jagdale-Demerara Bridge, there was about 25,000 vehicles and about 70 to 70,000 persons traverse it. Mr. Speaker, on an average day, 50,000 vehicles and 150,000 persons traverse that bridge. Yes. This is it, and it's toll free. And it's toll free, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is what people-centered thinking is about. This is what putting people first is about. Mr. Speaker, on Saturday, I was over in Region 3. I went to Stanley Town and Dinamstel and a number of other areas. And I listened to what the people in those areas said. Mr. Speaker, we heard. Now we are not hearing about complaints. Complaints are gone now. We are hearing about people saving. People want more roads. People want their demands are more. Of course, their demands are more. And this PPPC government will ensure that those requests are made over a period of time. Mr. Speaker, while others gamble with Guyana future, the PPPC government is building it. Growth is projected at 16.2%, with 10% of the expansion in 2026 in the non-oil economy. Mr. Speaker, inflation is projected to remain as low as 2.5%, protecting the purchasing power of our people. And importantly, Mr. Speaker, this $1.558 trillion budget introduces no taxes, demonstrating that this government is growing the economy without squeezing families or burdening small businesses. Growth is being driven by productivity and investment, not by hardship.
Honourable Member, you will need an extension to conclude.
Mr. Speaker, the honourable member, I ask that the honourable member be given 5 more minutes to conclude his presentation.
Thank you, Minister Teixeira. Honorable Minister, you may continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Chief Whip. Mr. Speaker, this budget promotes stability, reward enterprise, and above all, putting people first. For 2026, Mr. Speaker, this government is once again putting money where its mouth is. Through the Ministry of Public Works, a bold program of miscellaneous and urban road and drainage works will continue to be rolled out in Region 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10, valued $40 billion in the community. Mr. Speaker, as we move forward, the Ministry of Public Works will remain at the forefront of delivery, turning this government vision into roads, bridges, ports, and pipelines of opportunity. We are not investing at random. We are building deliberately to diversify the economy, strengthen climate resilience, and lift communities across every region. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, it is deeply humbling to be part of a team that is not only shaping the physical landscape of our country, but improving the daily experiences of our people. Each and every infrastructural project is a statement of intent. It tells every Guyanese that we are moving forward with confidence and with care of how citizens feel and everyday services they use. And I want to just quote a little quote from what the Finance Secretary of the Ministry of Finance said, Mr. Pasha. We must not lose focus of the bigger picture, that is the overall benefit that the budget brings to the entire population. It connects us as one Guyana to the shared future as we are building together. Mr. Speaker, Budget 2026 is anchored in growth, fairness, connectivity, and a deep commitment of putting people forward. For this reason, Mr. Speaker, I proudly and confidently support this budget, which represents a nation advancing together, connected, transformed, and focused on meaningful progress for every single Guyanese. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister.
Well done, my brother.
I'd like to invite the Honorable Saiko Andrew, the Honorable Member of Parliament, to make his presentation.
This one is on.
Hello.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would just like to take this opportunity to make a little correction. I hope it doesn't come from my time. My name is Saiku Andrews with an S to the end. There's an error there. So,
Correction,
Mr. Speaker, for
Saiko Andrews, and now your time starts.
not Saiku, Saiku.
Saiko.
Mr. Speaker, let me take this opportunity to thank the PNC's leadership, those who voted for the PNC, those who voted for the APNU, and allow me this opportunity to be their representative in this House. Mr. Speaker, two observations. Most of the speakers on the government side spoke about the APNU taking away the cash grant. Okay. No, if you said it, fine. But listen to this. Let us circle back to 2015 and do some simple mathematics, because that is fundamental. Listen, in 2015, Mr. Speaker, In 2015, Mr. Speaker, the Because We Care crash grant was, because it crashed. The Because We Care cash grant was $10,000. When the APNU, AFC came to power, we put in place a project that was called the 5Bs. So listen. The 5Bs, bus, boats and bicycle, that is transportation. Breakfast, breakfast and books. But let us do some simple calculation. A kid going to school, $100 to go, $100 come. Conservative estimates, $100 to go, $100 to come. 5 days a week, that's $1,000. 39 weeks in the school year, that is $39,000. That is more than the $10,000 We Care cash grant. Hold on. Come to the front of the class. Mr. Speaker, put aside the books. Let us go to the breakfast. Conservative estimate, $400 per breakfast, 5 days a week, $2,000, 39 weeks in the year. Mr. Speaker, that works out to 78,000 Guyana dollars. Add them together, that is a value of 117,000 Guyana dollars to a school child. And when the Honorable Riaz Rupnarain mentioned that it's $339,000 to get the kids to school, it exposes the superiority of the 5B program and the weakness of the Because We Care cash grant. But you know what, Mr. Speaker? When people don't care about people, you know what they do? They don't examine programs to see the good in it. And if they could see that the program is superior, all they need to do is examine if there's something bad. We take this out, we refine it, and we just allow the people to benefit. But no, for political expediency, this government throw away the 5Bs, and guess what happened? A kid got to pay $339,000, $2,000 a day, $10,000 a week, 39 weeks, $390,000 per year. And you say you care about people, you care about yourself. Now on a lighter note, Mr. Speaker, listen to me. When I look at this budget, Mr. Speaker, it says putting people first. But one would expect stronger measures geared at the senior citizen, uplifting the life of minimum wage workers, youths, and the vulnerable. But at the end of the day, Mr. Speaker, this budget that is presented in this House is clearly a budget of sand, stone, and cement. 50% of this budget goes to capital expenditure. Mr. Speaker, I am not here to oppose vision, you know. Don't get me wrong, comrades. I am not here to oppose vision. I am not here to oppose transformation, Mr. Speaker. As a matter of fact, Mr. Speaker, I welcome transformation. I welcome vision. As a matter of fact, listen, the Barajagio River Bridge is just a replacement of what was truly a transformational piece of infrastructure. But Mr. Speaker, so I'm not going to fight that. I'm not going to condemn that. But Mr. Speaker, hear this. Transformational, because the budget talks a lot about transformational infrastructure. But transformational infrastructure, Mr. Speaker, is not vision alone. Transformational infrastructure, Mr. Speaker, must deliver value for money. It must stand the test of time in service. It must withstand adversity. That is transformational infrastructure. And Mr. Speaker, listen. At the end of the day, we in the PNC has a record of delivering truly transformational infrastructure. Hold on, Mr. Speaker, I wasn't born in Pushadnagar, right? Right, Mr. Speaker, hear this. Transformational infrastructure loaded with value and benefits for the citizen was delivered in 1978 when LFS Bornham had the vision and foresight to link Stoosdyke and Linden. Listen to me, a 72-kilometer highway stood the test of time. For 57 years. 1969, 57 years before this government decided that it needed some significant form of upgrade. That is transformational infrastructure. 2 years. But on the contrary, Mr. Speaker, this government is spending in this budget, is asking us to approve $7.4 billion to rehabilitate the Providence to Diamond East Bank 4-lane road. Mr. Speaker, hear this. That project was only completed in 2014. That's only 12 years. Mr. Speaker, 12 years, and you gotta go back and spend $7.4 billion, and you talking about transformation? That is not transformation. That is a waste of money. That is terrible management, Mr. Speaker. And listen, that's not all. Let us go to Thomas Land, the road by the National Park. 2022, we spent $30 million to rehabilitate that road. 2 years later, after multiple attempts to fix the shoddy work, this government has decided to rebrand it and call it a 4-lane road. And now guess what? We're about to spend, we already complete spending billions of dollars on it. Mr. Speaker, that's why we waste money. Money keep going into projects and it don't make sense. And next year, we gotta come back and do it again. 5 more years, do it again. And all the while, the people continues to suffer. Mr. Speaker, it is not only the roads that are in need of rehabilitation. The PPP's mindset needs to be rehabilitated. It needs to be rehabilitated. It needs to be rehabilitated from build, break, and rehabilitate to build to last.
Let them see our servant should be delivered.
This is what Guyanese people need. This is what they vote for. This is what should have been delivered. Mr. Speaker, hold on. Mr. Speaker, 1978, Demerara Bridge, vision, transformation, Lincoln Region 3 to Region 4, 48 years of service to the Guyanese people. Mr. Speaker, this government is now asking us to approve spending on the New Borbies Bridge. Mr. Speaker, look at the contrast. Now this government is asking us to spend money on a fixed bridge over the Borbies River. In 2000, this government missed 2 opportunities, Mr. Speaker, to build a fixed concrete bridge over the Borbies River. In 2000, Mr. Speaker, and 2004, they got the estimate They got the proposal in 2000 for $30.8 million. They rejected it. In 2004, they got a proposal for $34.6 million. They rejected it. But in 2006, Mr. Speaker, they decided to burden the Guyanese people with a floating bridge that cost $45 million plus return on investment and all of the other maintenance costs over a 21-year period, subjecting the people of Region 5 and Region 6 to some of the highest toll rates in the Western Hemisphere. That is not leadership. That is cake shop economics.
And now they're going to get 255 million. Minimum 250
Mr. Speaker, this is contempt. This is contempt and managerial hypocrisy. Because here it is. The new bridge at a press conference, an honorable member of this house was asked about a feasibility study. Mr. Speaker, you thought that decision was bad? This was the response. What feasibility study? We already did a comprehensive feasibility study in 2004 that told us where is the exact location and the benefits. So why did you need 3 feasibility studies before you decided to build a floating bridge? You know why, Mr. Speaker? Because the PPP got trapped in 1978 trying to recreate and mimic the transformative legacy of LFS Burnham with a floating bridge. But by the time they decided to build a floating bridge, that era has already been gone. The PNC been there, done that. Now, Mr. Speaker, you talk about transformational infrastructure. Like I said before, it has to stand the test of time. It has to deliver value for money. And listen, when you look at the Kanji River Bridge, it stands 48 years in service to the people. Ask the Honorable Minister, how much money you really spend when the year come on the Kanji Bridge? It's almost negligible, because that is transformation and value. You know what is vision and transformation? Having the foresight to leave a 200+ feet reserve to link Georgetown from Mandela Avenue to Sue's Dyke. But guess what? We did a wonderful housing scheme, the largest housing scheme in the Caribbean, but a lack of vision. Guess what it did? Or mix-up vision. Guess what it did? It put the housing scheme smack dead center in that pathway. Now guess what? We're about to build the Mandela to Eccles all the way to our Sue's Dyke Highway. And now the road is like this. You gotta go straight, twist, turn around Diamond, go around like if it's an amusement park ride. But hold on. Mr. Speaker, this is beyond poor planning. This is beyond poor planning. Mr. Speaker, this budget wasting people money. This is more of the same and value down the drain. Mr. Speaker, let us go to the Mandela to Eccles Highway. Like I said, a lot of projects have the potential to be transformative, but it must deliver value. It must deliver savings. But listen to this one. This is going to shock the house. Phase 1, 2021, phase 1. It cost us 928 million per kilometer. This is Canefield, Virgin Land, right? 1 year later, phase 2, Eccles to Diamond, the price went up. $1.4 billion. 1 year after that, phase 3, Diamond to Busby, $2.3 billion. Same Canefield land, you know. Phase 4, Busby to land of Canaan. Mr. Speaker, guess what is the cost per km of road? $4.5 $11.6 billion. We signed contracts valued $52 billion for a 11.3 kilometer road. But Mr. Speaker, let me do an exegesis on this.
Before you could engage in that exercise, you need an extension.
Mr. Speaker, this time run out real
Thank you,
fast.
Mr. Speaker.
But I'll live with what I get.
Hold on. Mr. Speaker, I ask that the honourable member be given 5 minutes to proceed with his presentation and conclude.
Mean even the 10% into what I want to say. But here it is. Let us finish. Mr. Speaker, hold on, Mr. Speaker, it's party time, right? You got a party time, Mr. Speaker. Good, let us go. But Mr. Speaker, on that same road, the devil is in the detail. Ashoka Bill Construction, the same company that is building the Ogle to Eccles bypass, phase 1 and phase 2, that is carrying the same cost per kg across those phases, as the minister pointed out, that we're paying the same price. That same company of international repute, that company bid a total cost of $41.5 billion to construct the entire road corridor in phase 4. We signed contracts for $52.5 billion. Mr. Speaker, can the members of this house explain how, in the name of Bishop Ejil, how, in the name of being an honorable and prudent public servant, you could make a decision to spend $52 billion when you have a reputable company that offered to build that road for $42 billion. That is a loss of $11.5 billion on phase 4 alone.
That's prosperity theology.
Mr. Speaker, this 11.5 billion, let me tell you what it could do. Let me tell you, when you're prudent managers and you examine contracts and you examine the cost and you hold a tight rein, this is what the people get to benefit. For $11.5 billion, Mr. Speaker, we could give 95,000 old age pensioners $25,000 for the next 5 years. That is the value that you must create. That is the kind of value you must extract. That is the value you must deliver to the Guyanese people. But Mr. Speaker, nobody don't care about that on that side of the house. And then look at the Aubrey Barker. Let us go to Aubrey Barker. Mr. Speaker, I live there. Mr. Speaker, I live there. Aubrey Barker Road, Mr. Speaker, force and experience. Force and experience, Mr. Speaker. Aubrey Barker Road. 4 contractors, $1.5 billion. Mr. Speaker, 4 years. Nowhere in the modern world it takes a government 4 years to deliver the expansion of a 1.9 kilometer road. Nowhere in this modern world. Outside of Guyana. But Mr. Speaker, let me conclude. Mr. Speaker, in the context of explosive economic growth driven by the oil sector, this government has spent $5 trillion in the last 5 years. But what do we have to show other than sand, stone and cement? Mr. Speaker, at some point, after the waves of the Hero Highway are settled and the noise of this house on that side fades, this government would have to reconcile the monies it spent with the value it delivered. And in doing so, the Guyanese people watching this telecast must ask the hard question. They must ask the hard question. How is it, after spending $5 trillion in 5 years, after the unverified claim of creating 100,000 jobs, distributing 50,000 house lots, 5,000 contracts, 12,000 projects, and all of that, 58%. How is it that 58% of this country remains in poverty? How is it after you would have proudly announced your numbers, 32% of our people live in extreme poverty? This is not leadership that cares. This is a group of administrators who I would consider hirelings, people who work for money and no care for people. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Honourable Member. And now we hear the Honourable Minister in the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development, the Honourable Pauline Sukan.
Pauline, the wake rough for sailing. I want to hear Sarah again. Rough, this is rough. Pauline, you need to remember. Up to Sarah Licks. I want to hear Sarah again. Up to Sarah Licks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good evening to the House. Mr. Speaker, I stand this evening proud and honored to lend my full support to the 2026 national budget, a budget that continues to reflect our government's unwavering commitment to the people of this country, our Guyana. This $1.558 trillion budget aligns with the People's Progressive Party civic manifesto, which sets out Guyana's development path for 2030 and beyond. The 2026 budget stands as a powerful testament to the dynamic leadership of His Excellency President Dr. Irfan Ali, as it captured his visionary announcement made in his address to the nation not so long ago. Mr. Speaker, I skipped Mohammed because I did not want him to be associated at this time with the other Mohammed. Let me congratulate and thank the senior minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, the Honorable Dr. Ashni Singh and his team, for scripting such a masterclass fiscal plan for 2026 that looks beyond short-term gains while deliberately charts a course towards sustainable national development. Mr. Speaker, our budget theme, Putting People First, reflects our commitment to inclusive development across Guyana. In the hinterland and unserved communities, the People's Progressive Party civic government distributed 37,230 solar home systems. In 2026, in 2025, 7,000 was delivered and distributed to the hinterland communities and villages, improving students' ability to study at night and enhancing daily life of families. Despite criticism, Mr. Speaker, from the Honorable Dion Lacruz, our one and only, the initiative has positively impacted students, education, and prospects. In 2025, the Guyana Energy Agency constructed solar farms, mini-grids in various hinterland communities and hydro projects in locations such as Kumu, Mokomoka, and K2. Mr. Speaker, this is a government that put peoples first. Coming from where we started, Mr. Speaker, it is important to note that before the PPP came into office in 1992, the hinterland was in darkness. It was in abject poverty and marginalization. Mr. Speaker, and I say no more, because from then to now, the improvements that we have seen, felt, and is experiencing is untold. It must be recognized, it must be recorded, because it is a fact. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, when young parliamentarians who I applaud has taken up the leadership in their own space, not exactly on this platform that is putting people first and focuses on people's development, they need to reflect and to question themselves whether coming to this house with heaps of criticisms and not looking back. Many times it is the history that informs the next step forward. And Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to say that because when one considers where Guyana was, by those, the young members associated with, the honorable members associated with, it was truly a failure. And I want to say this. Another criticism that came from the other side had to do with jumping ship. And when the matter of jumping ship was being told to this house only a couple of hours ago, I remember Dr. Ashni Singh's referral about the scatteration. Mr. Speaker, the scatteration have them scattered all over. And it was like the pot telling the kettle the bottom black. Because the same person who was speaking about jumping ship has jumped on a ship that is fastly sinking. Sinking. And Mr. Speaker, having been the major opposition team just 5 years ago, can accuse someone who has chosen to jump ship on a platform of progress, a platform where this government continues to put people first. It is nonsensical because the pot is calling the kettle black, but the kettle jumped on a progressive ship, not a sinking one. The 2026 budget, Mr. Speaker, includes funding of $6 billion that will be directed to the establishment of 10 more mini-grids for communities. Mr. Speaker, and for the honorable member, someone said here he should have read the budget, or the honorable member should have read the budget. Because in the 2026 budget, Dr. Ashley Singh, the honorable member, indicated that for Region 1, there will be an extension to the solar farms that exist there in Port Kaituma, Matthews Ridge, and Mabaruma. This is what we would refer to as a government that continues to incrementally change the landscape of the hinterland and put people first. Of course, Rome was not built in a day. And I am proud, as I started my presentation, proud. I feel privileged that I could be on this side, no matter what position I may be in, no matter how critical it will appear to those on the other side. It is a position of choice, a position of recognition, and a position of representation for the people of this country. The hinterland, as well as the coastal regions, have benefited from investment in road networks and connecting bridges and drains. The new highway in the coast is a reality and has brought relief and strengthened economic opportunities for all of Guyana. Opening up lands for housing scheme, will be opening up lands for agriculture, opening up opportunities for young people, for women. Mr. Speaker, if that is not putting people first, then what is it? What is it? Similarly, in the hinterland and remote communities, the road network has expanded to bring improvements. Each year, the People's Progressive Party civic government has incrementally increased investments to upgrade and construct road networks in the hinterland. This year, the budget has allocated $10 million to commence these critical transport networks. Mr. Speaker, I want to take some time to address the numbers.
Take your time. You have 30 plus 5. They only have 15 over.
To highlight, Mr. Speaker, how this government, without oil and with oil, continues to support development in the hinterland. Allocation for hinterland road development. I want to demonstrate how the incremental increase is impacting and affecting a positive way of life for our people. In Region 1, in 2020, $146 billion. 2021, $700 million. In 2022, $970 million. In 2023, $1.8 billion. In 2024, $1.3 billion. In 2025, $3 billion. Mr. Speaker, that's what we call incrementally increasing every year the investment in hinterland roads. In my honorable member, or on the other side, region. Mr. Speaker, their government, or the opposition, and I'm speaking here because I'm not sure where they are placing themselves at this point in time. Mr. Speaker, their history and their record has never shown such development track record. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, they can bawl, they can shout, and they can perform antics at the podium. But that will not bring them votes. It might bring them social media likes, but it will not bring you votes. Mr. Speaker, I would like to specially point out that in 2025, $14 billion were spent on hinterland roads alone. Mr. Speaker, that is what we're talking about. Increasing and building out the infrastructure to support hinterland, Amerindians and hinterland community life, so that they too can be party to the benefits of what is happening around and in this country. Mr. Speaker, This year's budget caters, Mr. Speaker, local government is where development becomes real. It is where citizens judge the state by whether drains are cleared, roads are maintained, markets are organized, garbage is collected, and public spaces are safe and usable. Mr. Speaker, when one reflects on what we inherited, it was a total mess. Before I highlight what the budget offers for local government development, it would be remiss of me not to say that the opposition-run city council has over the years allowed the capital city to rapidly deteriorate, to rubble and waste. Since 2020, with strategic investment from the People's Progressive Party civic administration and the intervention of central government, Guyanese are witnessing a city that is progressively transforming into a safer and more secure space. Just take a walk down to the historical old train station and the seawall. They are now awesomely well kept and enhanced, nothing like in the days of the opposition. And with this, we cannot fail to recognize the effort of the Office of the First Lady for the dedicated leadership provided across various regions to uplift and enhance towns and communities alike. This year's budget caters for investment to the tune of $2 billion to commence the reconstruction of two historical city markets, the Stabroek Market and the Border Market. And not forgetting that we have already achieved the rehabilitation of City Hall, beautifully done, along with further investment for city enhancement projects throughout the year and beyond. A revitalized and beautifully maintained city will in turn complement the targeted support being extended to the orange economy. Because the PPP civic government put people first, we realize the scope of our culture and creative industry that will generate income for countless Guyanese in the area of music, fashion, cuisine, film, art. Mr. Speaker, design and heritage-based enterprises. Mr. Speaker, exciting times lie ahead for our creative population, for our young people, for male and female designers. Mr. Speaker, this is what real development is, since it seeks and ensures that people's life will be improved, that income will be generated, and prosperity will begin to prevail. Turning now to regional development. Mr. Speaker, over the past 5 years, the People's Progressive Party administration pursued a deliberate and measurable agenda to expand development at the regional and the local levels. Through improved connectivity, stronger regional systems, enhanced energy access, and direct investments. Mr. Speaker, we in this government strengthen the governance architecture through a democratic and balanced approach. Local organs must be resourced, trained, and equipped to deliver services, and they must be also accountable. As such, under the government subvention, increases for the local organs, including municipalities, received in 2025 $50 million, and neighborhood democratic councils were allocated $30 million to ensure that both these levels would execute impactful projects that improve people's life and the delivery of service to our people be upgraded and enhanced. This is a deliberate policy to strengthen local organs with more predictable resources and delivery of services. As such, tractors, truck, waste management equipment, and tools will be procured. Mr. Speaker, the grumbling about reading, I want to assure this House, these notes belongs to me, supported by my technical people, not by Christopher Ram. That is what responsible government looks like, Mr. Speaker, when money is allocated, money is disbursed, money is utilized, services are improved, and communities and people continue to benefit, and life continue to improve. Mr. Speaker, solid waste management remains a challenge. It's a fact. It is one of the toughest local government responsibility. That is why the portfolio is not only about trucks and schedules for pickup. It is also about policy modernization. Consultation has begun for an integrated solid waste management bill aimed at strengthening standards, improving regulation, and modernizing the framework within which waste collection, disposal, and site management will operate. In 2026, Mr. Speaker, a total of $7.9 billion budgeted to pursue a comprehensive approach to solid waste management, with a particular focus on constructing access road and landfill facilities. Mr. Speaker, this is how the People's Progressive Party civic government operate. We manage the present while modernizing for the future. Mr. Speaker, with respect to hinterland development, the People's Progressive Party civic government policy is to improve the delivery of services. And that is relatable to people. And that is why this budget is themed putting people first and not a mere slogan. Mr. Speaker, let me remind this House that on December the 17th, 2025, right on the lawns of the conference center, His Excellency, in his message to the nation, said, "Development cannot remain concentrated along the coast. It must be national in scope, deliberate in its execution, and tangible in the daily lives of Guyanese, particularly those in riverine, remote, and hinterland communities." This is substantive. This is visionary. And this is coming from a leader who has put people first. His Excellency recent commissioning of hinterland airstrips in Parmakatoy Region 8 and at Aishalton in Region 9 demonstrates a strategic push to integrate these communities into the national economy through transport infrastructure that supports agriculture, tourism, healthcare, education, and access to market. Mr. Speaker, the vision, the pronouncement, the message of His Excellency to this nation is not only now beginning, but he has reinforced what this government should focus on. And therefore, with the commissioning of more than one airstrips in the hinterland community, it was providing evidence to what the intention is, so that we will be able as a government to continue to deliver, to serve, and of course, to attract the votes, so that you on the other side may take a lesson from us over a long protracted period of years while you sit on the other side. As part of the integrated food production strategy, the government has set ambitious annual output targets to be achieved from regions 8 and 9, including 1 million pounds of carrots, 500 pounds of citrus, 200,000 pounds of peanuts, 150,000 pounds of mangoes, 200,000 pounds of beef, and 100,000 pounds of mutton, along with the cultivation of potatoes, onions, and carrots. Mr. Speaker, I am pleased to announce that the first shipment of mangoes, amounting to several thousand pounds that might otherwise have rotted, were already flown out of Shelton, and more than 40,000 pounds of produce have begun arriving in Georgetown. Again, as I speak, or as I stand here, I'm happy to report that 38 acres of arable land has been cleared in Region 8, in Paramakatoy, to revolutionize agricultural production. This will be done with the support, technical and otherwise, by the Ministry of Agriculture. It will ensure that youths, women, farmers remain involved in production, are working and earning through a lucrative project right in their home or village. Mr. Speaker, that is what integrating the hinterland areas and location with the national policy of food security. Our country, Mr. Speaker, has committed to be the supplier of food for the region. We can do it. I've heard the Minister of Agriculture outline here today that Guyana is one of the only countries that has the capability, the capacity, and the potential to carry on this task. And the hinterland community are going to be integrally a significant participant in this activity. Mr. Speaker, development cannot occur in darkness. For long, under the grapples and the hamstrung and the tentacles of the opposition, Guyana has been in a really sad state. And so today, I want to say that infrastructure alone is not enough. And I agree that all the beautiful highways we've had, the modern BJ Bridge, the Amarar Harbor Bridge, Mr. Speaker, they are magnificent. It's awesome. It's building out and modernizing our country. But that is not enough, and I agree. And that is why over 7,500 hinterland residents have benefited from training and educational opportunities through programs such as GOAL and other scholarships, including the free tuition at the university. And Mr. Speaker, our government continues to invest in our human capital, our human resources. And I like to tell the story, which I've said before, others have heard it before, but I want to say it in this August House, Mr. Speaker. Our government has put people first. People, for us, are the important players in everything that we do. And so, in a family, when the mother gets pregnant or a female gets pregnant, she has the option of going not only to the private hospitals, but now, comfortably so, she can go to the government public health system. Mr. Speaker, she gets free examination, she gets free ultrasound, she also gets free medication if necessary. She gets free birthing of the child in the institution. And when that child is born, that mother receives 100 $100,000. That's investment from day one in our human resource. When that child gets into nursery school and registered in the private or the public schools, that child is today receiving, or this year will receive $85,000. When that child is about or is ready and eligible to write the C-section